I just want them back. I just want them to come back. And if they're not safe right now, that's what's tearing me apart. Because if they are safe, they're coming back. But if they're not, this has got to stop. Like, somebody has to come forward.
Girls.
Oh, CC
Girls.
Bella.
Okay, you want chocolate? No chocolate? If you want chocolate, you just get this bowl. You want this one, bigger one? We're gonna go.
I love you too.
This is the morning. This is why I love that I thrive.
I wanted to say thank you for this moment. I want to take a moment to thank everyone who has prayed for our beloved family, who has sent gifts, cards to us from all over the world.
If this stillness holds you, a quiet gesture helps sustain these long-form investigations. Taking a moment to like the video or subscribe allows stories like this to be examined with the time and care they demand, bringing hidden truths into focus, one layer at a time.
I know God will put the evil people where they need to be. I also want to take the time to thank the town of Frederick, Greeley, FBI, the DA's office, the CBI, for exceptional work. We thank Nicole Atkinson, Shannon's neighbor Nathan, and his family. To me, they're our heroes. They really are. God bless. God makes no mistakes on who he puts in your life. Marriage is about love, trust, and friendship and unity. We marry for sickness and health, to death do us part. Our daughter Shanann loved you with all of her heart. Your children loved you to the moon and back. Shannon's family was her world. Shanann put a crown on your head. But unfortunately, the day that you took their life, God removed that crown. We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. And I don't know if you got to see it, but it was, "Daddy, you're my hero." I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives. But I know God and his mighty angels were there at that moment to bring them home to paradise. God gives us free will. So not only did you take the family of four, your family of four, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Tell them you love them.
You're welcome. We love you.
Say love you.
Candy.
Oh yeah, shoot, that's in here.
Position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12th, 2018 and August 13th, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum death, the sentence is death. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure.
I don't want to be in it. Get lower. Hey guys, good morning, or I know for Colorado people it's good morning, good afternoon for everybody else. I wanted to come here live because today is the big day for the huge, our cocktail party is tonight where Product X is going to be released. We're super excited. We're heading to the pool right now, and then we have a massage today paid for by Lavelle. Today at 3:30. So Chris and I are super excited. So we're gonna get a massage after we lay by the pool for a little bit and maybe go to the beach again. And then we're going to go to the cocktail party. And we will be live there tonight.
What I'd like to say to the courts that Shanann, Bella, and Nico are loving, caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. They always had good times. This is the first time they went to the beach this year, and they loved it. But God only knows what happened that night. Life will never be the same without Shanann, Bella, and Celeste and Nico. Had all their lives to live. They were taken by a heartless one. This is the heartless one, the evil monster, who dare you take the lives of my daughter Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. And they also trusted you. The heartless monster, and then you take them out like trash. You disgust me. They were loving and caring people. You may have taken their bodies from me, but you will never take the love they had for me. They loved us more than you will ever know, because you don't know what love is, because if you did, you would not have killed them. You monster, thought you would get away with this. I don't know how. The cameras do not lie. You carry them out like trash of the house. Yes, I seen the videotape. You buried my daughter Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. You have to live with this vision every day of your life, and I hope you see that every time you close your eyes at night. Oh, I forgot. You have no heart or feelings or love. Let me tell you something. I will think of them every day of my life, and I love them every day of my life. Prison is too good for you. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here. May the courts have no mercy on you. It's hard every day. It hurts in so many ways. I have heard people say that you're not a monster. No, you are not. You're an evil monster. Thank you. Love you, Shanann, Bella, and Nico. Love you, Pop and Dad. And one other thing. And Shanann says she is super excited for justice today. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Objectively say that this is perhaps the most inhumane and vicious crime that I have handled out of the thousands of cases that I have seen. And nothing less than a maximum sentence would be appropriate. And anything less than the maximum sentence would depreciate the seriousness of this offense. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody and have him serve the rest of his life in the Department of Corrections. We are in recess.
Past 3 months, I barely slept. because I've been going through a lot of different emotions because I did not see this coming. You went from being my brother, my sister's protector, one of the most loved people in my family, to someone I will spend the rest of my life trying to understand. What gave you the right to put your hands on a woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, your daughters, and your son? Why weren't they enough for you? In the blink of an eye, you took away my whole world, the people that mattered to me the most. Everything in my life I loved, your children. They trusted you. They loved you. They looked up to you because you promised to keep them safe. Instead, you turned on your family. My blood is boiling as I write these last words because they are the last you will ever hear from me. I can't even think of the right words to describe the betrayal and the hate I feel. And to be honest, you aren't even worth the time and effort it takes to put my pen to this paper. There isn't a day that goes by that I don't cry for my family. They were my whole world. All I do is ask myself why. Why would you do this? You don't deserve to be called a man. What kind of person slaughters the people that love them the most? Did you really think you would get away with this? Did you really think that this was your best option, to throw away your family like they were garbage? They deserve better, and you know it. I hope you spend the rest of your life staring at the ceiling every night, being haunted by what you've done. None of us deserved this. Hearing my mother and father cry themselves to sleep in this hotel room causes me anguish that is beyond words. I can't describe how this feels, how badly my heart is breaking for my poor parents. We trusted you. You have taken away my family from this earth, but you can never take them from my heart. You took away my privilege of being an uncle to the most precious little girls I've ever known. I will never hear the words Uncle Frankie again, but you will never be called Dad again either. You'll never be able to put your hands on another woman, let alone my best friend, my beloved sister, and your son. I just can't comprehend how they weren't enough for you. Shanann, Bella, and Cece loved you more than anyone. You were their hero. How could you destroy the people who loved them the most? I pray that you never have a moment's peace or a good night's rest in the cage you'll spend every day of your life in. A cage you are privileged to live in because my family isn't evil like you. We begged the district attorney to spare your life because despite everything, we believe that no one has the right to take the life of another, even someone like you. I feel sorry for your family. I know the pain that they must feel knowing that they can't hug you, because that's how my mother, father, and I feel every time we cry for our family. Nothing hurts more than watching or hearing my family weep for their loved ones. I just wish that I could tell that you would tell the truth, but I know that that is asking for more than you are capable of. I stayed up all night writing this statement. I don't sleep because of you. My life will never be the same because of you, but at least my conscience is clear. I get to live free, but I can't say the same for you. I haven't slept in 2 days because I've been anxiously waiting for this moment, the moment I get to tell you how I feel, how this has affected my family and I. My family and I can finally grieve after today. If anything, we will come out of this stronger today than we were before, and we will continue to pray for your family. Sincerely, Frankie Rusick.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there are no words to adequately describe the unimaginable tragedy that brings us before this court today. By my comments, I'm not even going to try to express the horror, the pain, or the suffering that the defendant has caused to these families, to this community, and to all who were a part of this investigation. However, I do want to spend a few minutes sharing with the court the details of the crime, as so far you've only had an opportunity to review the affidavit and a few facts here and there that have been offered to the court in the motions and pleadings that have been filed. The questions that have screamed out to anyone who will listen since August 13th of 2018 are why and how. Why did this have to happen? How could a seemingly normal husband and father annihilate his entire family? For what? These are the questions that only one individual in this courtroom or on this planet knows the answers to. I fully expect we will not receive the answers to these questions today, nor will we at any point in the future. I don't expect that he will ever tell the truth about what truly happened or why. Even if he did, there is no rational way that any human being could find those answers acceptable responses to such horrific questions. The best we can do is try to piece together some kind of understanding from the evidence that is available to us. And the evidence tells us this: the defendant coldly and deliberately ended 4 lives. Not in a fit of rage, not by way of accident, but in a calculated and sickening manner. Shanann was 34 years old. She had married the defendant in November of 2012. Over the weekend leading up to August 13th, she had been at a work conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and returned home in the early morning hours of August 13th. We know that she got home about 1:45 in the morning. The doorbell camera on their home shows her arriving back home from the airport. Shortly thereafter, at least according to the defendant, they had what he referred to as an emotional conversation about the state of their marriage and about what their lives would look like going forward. What was said during that emotional conversation, only he knows. What we do know is that shortly after that, the defendant strangled her to death with his own hands. We know that he slowly took her life the morning of August 13th. We know that this was not done in an uncontrolled, vengeful manner that he tried to describe to agents from CBI and the FBI. If that were the case, you would expect to see vicious, horrible bruising about her neck, shoulders, and face. You would expect to see the hyoid bone in her neck broken. You would expect to see some kind of defensive wounds on his body as she struggled and fought for her own life. None of those are present. The only injuries that were on Shanann's body were one set of finger or bruising, what appeared to be fingernail or finger mark bruising to the right side of her neck. We know that our experts will tell us that it takes 2 to 4 minutes to strangle someone to death manually with their own hands. The horror that she felt as the man that she loved wrapped his hands around her throat and choked the life out of her must have been unimaginable. Even worse, what must Bella, age 4, and Celeste, age 3, must have experienced or thought as their father, the one man on this planet who was supposed to nurture and protect them, was snuffing out their lives. They both died from smothering. Let me say that again. The man seated to my right smothered his daughters. Why? Imagine the horror in Bella's mind as her father took her last breaths away. Your Honor, understand very clearly, Bella fought back for her life. The frenulum, the connective tissue between her upper lip and her gum, had a centimeter and a half laceration. She bit her tongue multiple times before she died. She fought back for her life as her father smothered her. Celeste had no such injuries. In fact, she had no external injuries at all. But according to the medical examiner, she was smothered nonetheless. The defendant then methodically and calmly loaded their bodies into his work truck, not in a hasty or disorganized way. He was seen from the neighbor's doorbell camera backing his truck into the driveway, going back and forth into the house and back out to the truck 3 different times, 1 time for each of their bodies. He then drove them away from their family home 1 final time, intent on hiding any evidence of the crimes that he had just committed. In one final sign of callousness for his wife, his daughters, and their unborn son, and their remains, he drove them to a location that he thought no one would ever find them, to one of the oil tank batteries with which he was so familiar. He knew this was safe. He had texted a coworker the night before saying, "I'll head out to that site. I'll take care of it." He had carefully ensured that he would be alone in the middle of the plains to secrete away the remains of his family in a place that he hoped they would never be found. In one final measure of disrespect for the family he once had, he ensured that they would not be together, even in death, or so he thought. He disposed of them in different locations. He buried Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave away from the oil tanks. Bella and Celeste were thrown away in the oil tanks at this facility. Different tanks so these little girls wouldn't be together in death. Imagine this, Your Honor. This defendant took those little girls and put them through a hatch at the top of an oil tank, 8 inches in diameter. Bella had scratches on her left buttocks from being shoved through this hole. A tuft of blonde hair was found on the edge of one of these hatches. The defendant told investigators that Bella's tank seemed emptier than CC's because of the sound that the splashes made. These were his daughters. Significantly, when his co-workers arrived at the tank battery later that morning, to a person, they all described him as acting completely normally. It was a normal workday, even while his daughter sank in the oil and water not far away from him. And then his efforts at deception truly began. We've all seen the emotionless interviews that the defendant gives to the local media, asking for help in locating his family. We watched as he claimed that the house was empty without them, and that he hoped that they were somewhere safe, and that he just wanted them to come home. He told investigators that they were at home sleeping when he left for work that morning, and that Shanann had told him that she was taking the girls to a friend's house for the day. What is striking about this case, Your Honor, beyond the horrors that I've already described to you, is the number of collateral victims that he created by his actions. While he stood in front of TV cameras asking for the safe return of his family, scores of law enforcement officers, neighbors, friends, and family scoured the area, fretted for their safe return. They texted him begging for any information and sending him their best wishes, all the while he hid what he had done. The list of indirect victims does not end there. Think of the firefighters and the Colorado State Patrol hazmat experts who had to don protective suits and who were called upon to pull Bella and Celeste out of those oil tanks. Or the coroner employees who had to conduct these autopsies. Or the victim assistants who frantically attempted to ease the suffering of those affected. All of this, Your Honor, for what? Why? Why did this have to happen? His motive was simple, Your Honor. He had a desire for a fresh start, to begin a relationship with a new love that overpowered all decency and feelings for his wife, his daughters, and unborn son. While Shanann texted the defendant over and over again in the days and weeks leading up to her death, attempting to save her marriage, the defendant secreted pictures of his girlfriend into his phone and texted her at all hours of the night. While Shanann sent the defendant self-help and relationship counseling books, one of which, ironically enough, was thrown in the garbage. He was searching the internet for secluded vacation spots to take his new love in researching jewelry. And while Shanann took the girls to visit family in North Carolina, the defendant went to car museums and the sand dunes with his new girlfriend. The stark contrast between the subjects of their internet and text content is absolutely stunning. Even the morning after he killed them and disposed of their bodies, he made several phone calls. One was to the school where the girls were supposed to start, telling the school that the girls would not be coming to school anymore, that they were being unenrolled, presumably to give him some more time before law enforcement notification about them going missing. He contacted a realtor to start discussing the selling of his house, and he texted with his girlfriend about their future. None of this answers the questions of why, however. If he was this happy and wanted a new start, get a divorce. You don't annihilate your family and throw them away like garbage. Why did Nico, Celeste, Bella, and Shanann have to lose their lives in order for him to get what he wanted? Your Honor, justice demands the maximum sentence under the agreement reached by the parties. As you will recall, the agreement calls for life sentences as to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, and all of those to run consecutively to one another. It also calls for the count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy as to Nico to run consecutively to counts 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest that the extreme aggravation present in the defendant's conduct and in the efforts that I have described mandate that the sentences for counts 7, 8, and 9, the tampering with a deceased human body, each be the maximum of 12 years, and that those sentences run consecutively to one another. It is very clear that each of these acts, that these were not the subject of one act, but each oil tank that he walked up with his daughter's bodies and the hole that he dug for his wife and unborn son mandate a mandatory consecutive sentence. It's been alluded to this morning, but the defendant was certainly eligible for the death penalty in this case under the existing law in the state of Colorado. As you heard, Shanann's family strongly opposed my office seeking the death penalty and being bound to the criminal justice system for the next several decades. That's in large part, as you've heard, why we have reached the agreement that we have. 4 lives were lost at the hands of the defendant on August 13th for reasons that we will never fully understand, nor will we know. In the end, the Rusick family was much more merciful towards him than he was towards his wife, his daughters, and his unborn son. Prison for the remainder of his life is exactly where he belongs for murdering his entire family. Thank you.
Are you seeking 91 days?
I'm Cindy Watts.
Ron Watts.
Thank you. I have authorized you to make a statement to the court as paternal grandparents of the children. And if you choose not to make a statement, but your designee, Ms. Powers, chooses to, she can do so as well. How would you like to proceed
Can
today?
I read that? I want you to start, but I would like to read
Who's
that.
going to be speaking today?
Your Honor, initially, they've asked me and they're hoping that they have the strength to speak, but if they do not, they've written out their statements and asked me to finish for them. So
That would be fine. Who would like to go first?
if I could start, Your Honor. On behalf of the Watts, Your Honor, and to the community, we thank you for the opportunity and the recognition under the Victim Bill of Rights. We come today as the grandparents and the parent of the daughter and children whose life was taken in this case. We are not here to ask for leniency. We are not in any way condoning or tolerating the crime that has occurred and the pain that has been caused. We join in our daughter-in-law and grandchildren's family in saying this should never have happened. This is not condonable. This is something that we will never get over. We appreciate the consideration that everyone has paid, most especially the families that have lost everyone. We appreciate that they begged for Christopher's life. We agree and echo what they have said, that it is not his place to take anyone's life, nor would it be our place as a community to take his life. So we thank you for the opportunity and for every consideration and effort that's been put out. The prosecution in this case has in fact respected the Victim Bill of Rights. They took the time to explain that the information that my clients had at the time that they were interviewed was not correct. They were misinformed. They were searching for answers. They were not intending to cause any pain to anyone, and they appreciate that the prosecution answered their questions and gave them the time and the respect and the consideration so that they could tell this court and everyone in this community that the interview content was not their message, that they accept that their son has done this, that they accept that he chose to plead guilty, that he sought and requested their consent and agreement for a life sentence. They appreciate that he is given the opportunity to serve that life sentence. It is his responsibility, it is his sentence, and it is not enough to make up for what has done. We understand and we join the family in that we have questions. We don't know how such a thing could possibly happen, or that a man that was responsible for raising his children and protecting his wife would take the steps that he did, and that he would disregard their bodies and the love that he had for them and they had for him and everyone else, and take the gestures and put this community through the investigation and the discovery and the responsibility of bringing justice. We do not understand that. We do not think it was appropriate. We cannot begin to think that an explanation will ever justify it. My clients indicate that they understand that a full opportunity for a confession with all of the responsibility and accountability has not occurred. And they support the family and the request that that happen, if not today, at an appropriate time, in an appropriate manner, so that everyone can have peace, to understand to the best of their ability the details that they need and to have their questions answered. And by giving this opportunity of a life sentence, we hope that he embraces that moment. That had the death penalty been pursued, there would not have been an opportunity to be accountable and to give a full confession. And had the death penalty been sought, counsel would have fought for his life, the prosecutors would have been engaged in a multiple-year battle, the families would have been torn apart, this community would have had to subsidize it and endure it, and we have so much respect and gratefulness that that did not happen. We would strongly encourage Christopher Watts to give that full confession in the tone and in the timing that he thinks is appropriate with the guidance of his counsel. We feel that it would be appropriate and helpful to ease the pain and the suffering. But we also say we don't think that there's anything that he can say that will ever account for his behavior. There's nothing that can be done to cure the harm he has caused. And he has the responsibility to serve his sentence with dignity and with regard for everyone, and to spend every breath that he has left in an atonement for what he has done. Do you want to read it?
Yes. So if I could just have you state your name for the record.
Cindy Watts.
Thank you.
My name is Cindy Watts. I am the grandmother of two beautiful granddaughters, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine Watts. I am also the mother of Christopher Watts, who I will be directing most of my statement to. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing the absolute horror of this crime and acknowledging the devastating loss that both the Rusek family as well as our family have faced. Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that we are united in our grief. I am still struggling to understand how and why this tragedy occurred. I may never be able to understand and accept it, but I pray for peace and healing for all of us. Now to my son Christopher. I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child who Bella reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. This might be hard for some to understand, how I can sit here under these circumstances and tell you, although we are heartbroken, although we can't imagine what could have led us to this day, but we love you. Maybe you can't believe it either. As the Lord said in Jeremiah 3:31, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, I have continued my faithfulness to you. And you, as your mother, Chris, I have always loved you, and I still do. I hate what has happened. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why. But we will remain faithful as your family, just as God remains faithful because of his unconditional love for us all. We love you, and we forgive you, son.
Thank you.
Judge, if I could read Mr. Watts' statement.
Yes.
My name is Ronnie Watts, and I am the grandfather of Bella, Celeste, Nico Watts. and I am the father of Shanann. I am the father of Christopher Watts as well. And one of the most important things I've done in my life is to raise my children and to watch as they started their own families. I spent many years coaching Little League and talking to my son, taking him to the races, and sharing my love and knowledge of cars with him. He was just as involved with his girls. I believe he loves his girls. I know he does. This tragedy has impacted my family in so many ways. Beyond losing my precious grandchildren, our beloved daughter-in-law, we are forced to question everything. We still don't have all the answers, and I hope one day, Christopher, you can help us. Chris, I want to talk to you as a father and son. You are here today accepting responsibility, but I want to tell you this now. I love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I want you to find peace, and today is your first step. The Bible says if we confess our sins, God is faithful and just and will forgive us. Chris, I forgive you, and your sister forgives you, and we will never abandon you, and we love you. Dad. Judge, thank you for the opportunity to address the court.
Presiding.
Good morning, and welcome to be seated. Okay, we are on the record. We are in Division 17 of the Weld County District Court, and we are here regarding Weld County case number 18CR2003, people of the state of Colorado versus Christopher Lee Watts. My name is Marcelo Cupcom, a district court judge here in Weld County, and I will be the presiding judge in this case. If I could please have the lawyers identify themselves in the record, starting with the prosecution.
Good morning, Your Honor. Michael Rourke on behalf of the people.
Patrick Roach on behalf of the people. Your Honor, John Walsh on behalf of the defense. Jim Merson on behalf of Mr. Watts. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Rourke, do you want to make a record regarding compliance with the Victims' Rights Act?
Yes, Your Honor. We are in compliance with the Victims' Rights Act. Frank Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' father, is present in the courtroom, as is Frankie Rusick, who is Shanann Watts' brother. They are present in the courtroom, and we have advised them of the purpose of today's hearing and what we expect to occur.
Thank you. Mr. Watts, last week I gave you a limited advisement because charges had not been filed. They have now been filed, so I'm going to give you a full advisement. If at any time you have any questions, please let me know, and welcome also to certainly consult with your attorneys, okay?
Yes, sir.
So, you do not need to make any statements. Any statement you make can be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to be represented by counsel, and if you're indigent, you have the right to request the appointment of counsel or consult with the public defender before any further proceedings are held, and I see that you've taken advantage of that right. Any plea that you make must be made voluntarily and not the result of undue influence or coercion. You understand?
Yes, sir.
At this point, I have denied your right to bail, given the charges. You can certainly have a conversation shortly about that issue. You have the right to understand the nature of the charges. We'll go over them in a moment. You have the right to a jury trial. You also have the right to demand and receive a preliminary hearing within a reasonable time to determine whether probable cause exists to believe that the offenses charged were committed by you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I assume that the defense has received a copy of the complaint and information. Mr. Watts will explain to you what you have been formally charged with and what the possible penalties are. Count 1 alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Shanann Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection A, and that crime is classified as murder in the first degree, a Class 1 felony. Do you understand? Count 2 alleges murder in the first degree, also a Class 1 felony, and it reads that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Bella Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statute 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection A. Do you understand? Count 3 alleges murder in the first degree, a Class 1 felony, and specifically it alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause the death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Celeste Watts in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection A. Do you understand? Count 4 alleges murder in the first degree, a Class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Bella Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 5 alleges murder in the first degree, a Class 1 felony. It alleges that between and including August 12, 2018 and August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts unlawfully, feloniously, and knowingly caused the death of Celeste Watts, a child who had not yet attained 12 years of age, and the defendant was in a position of trust with respect to the victim in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3-102, subsection 1, subsection F. Do you understand? Yes, sir. With regard to these first 5 counts, the minimum sentence that the court could impose if convicted is life imprisonment in the Colorado Department of Corrections, and the maximum death, the sentence is death. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Let me also point out that pursuant to Rule 32.1 of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, the prosecutor would have to file a written statement of intent to seek the death penalty no later than 63 days after arraignment. Do you understand? If a life imprisonment sentence was imposed, it would be without the possibility of parole. Do you understand that? Yes, sir. Count 6 alleges a Class 2 felony of unlawful termination of pregnancy in the first degree. Specifically, it alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, with the intent to terminate unlawfully the pregnancy of a woman, namely Shanann Watts, feloniously and unlawfully terminated the pregnancy of the woman. Further, the woman died as a result of the unlawful termination of the pregnancy in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-3.5-103. Do you understand? Yes, sir. The possible penalties, if convicted for this crime, is a mandatory minimum 16 years in prison up to 48 years in prison, followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 5 years. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 7 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair it or their appearance or availability in the official proceedings in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand? Yes, sir. Count 8 alleges also tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And finally, count 9 alleges tampering with a deceased human body, a Class 3 felony. It alleges that on or about August 13, 2018, Christopher Lee Watts, believing that an official proceeding was pending, in progress, or about to be instituted, and acting without legal right or authority, unlawfully and feloniously, willfully destroyed, mutilated, concealed, removed, or altered a human body, part of a human body, or human remains with the intent to impair its or their appearance or availability in the official proceeding in violation of Colorado Revised Statutes 18-8-610.5. With regard to counts 7, 8, and 9, those Class 3 felonies carry a presumptive range of 4 to 12 years in the Colorado Department of Corrections. If there were sufficient mitigating circumstances, the minimum could be as low as 2 years. If there were sufficient aggravating circumstances, as many as 24 years. And any prison sentence would be followed by an additional mandatory parole period of 3 years. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what I've said so far?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Merston, has your office filed a written intent to seek a proof evident presumptive rate hearing?
Not yet, Judge, but we will be following that. This case will be Mr. Walsh's and Ms. Harrell's. They were the attorneys listed on the, I believe, the most recent pleading from the defense.
Okay, thank you. And I would point out, Mr. Watts, that the prosecution also indicated in the complaint and information that these were acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And so, Mr. Walsh, what is your request today?
Your Honor, considering that we haven't received any discovery of the case, we're not in a good position at this point to advise the court about what kind of time we'll need. My suggestion to the court is that the court allow Mr. Watts to reserve the preliminary hearing in the case, reserve the proof evident hearing, and set the matter for a status conference about 60 days out.
So just to be clear, he is waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days. That is not seeking a proof evident presumption rate hearing prior to the setting of the status conference in about 60 days. But he's reserving his right to have those hearings in the future, but not necessarily within 35 days. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. We've spoken about those issues.
And do you understand what we're talking about, Mr. Watts?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about that? Okay. And Mr. Rourke, do you have any objection to that request?
No, Your Honor, that seems like the prudent way to proceed at this point.
Okay. Let me give you a date that, how does, so 60 days is about October 20th or so. I have October 11th. Does that date work for the parties? I can go a little bit further if you like as well.
I think a little bit further would make sense, Your Honor. Thank you.
How about November 19th? While we're waiting for lawyers to look, let me make a record that the court's going to find that Mr. Watts is knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waiving his right to have a preliminary hearing within 35 days. And while he has not asked for a proof evident presumption rate hearing yet, I'm told that he will, but he's not requesting that hearing prior to the status conference that we're setting today. Agreed?
Yes. That date works fine with the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Your Honor, I spoke to the Rusiks, and that is fine with the people as well as the victim's family.
How is late morning on November 19th?
Anytime, Your Honor. Late morning is fine.
Very good. How about 10:30?
That'll work for the people.
And I will be in Division 16. I apologize for the bouncing around of division, but my courtroom obviously is not big enough, and I will keep you updated on where the divisions are going to be, but the next court date will be in Division 16. Are there any other questions, comments, concerns, anything that we can address today before us recessing?
I think there are a couple of things outstanding, Your Honor, and first I wanted to address one very ministerial point of clarification with respect to the standing decorum order that the court entered yesterday. By its terms, and when the court defines the applicable areas, that includes my office, specifically the boundaries of the district attorney's office. I just wanted to make a request for clarification that the terms of this order do not apply to the conduct that occurs within my office itself.
Agreed.
Thank you. Otherwise, I have provided a copy of this to the employees of my office, and we will be providing it to law enforcement after this hearing is fine.
Thank you. I also intend on issuing a case management order later today, so be on the lookout for that.
I don't know if the court has the desire at this point this morning to address a couple of the other outstanding motions that the Public Defender's Office has filed that we had entered or filed responses to. We have not addressed motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And those are the defense motions 2, 3, 5, and 7. And for the record, our responses were C, D, E, and F.
I don't have those motions in front of me, but I know that I issued a number of written orders yesterday. Did you receive those?
I received written orders, but not as it relates to those 4, so perhaps they just haven't reached my desk yet.
If they haven't yet, I will issue a written ruling. We'll be getting it shortly. I issued a number of orders yesterday.
Your Honor, does that include, I did get the order on motion 5 and motion 7. Does that include motions 2 and 3 then that the court would?
Remind me what 2 and 3 are again?
Motion 2 is the motion to allow confidential defense experts to be present for any testing. And we did have a bit of additional argument on that if the court wanted to hear it. Motion 3 is a motion for a protective order.
I prefer they put it in writing, and then I'll issue a written order with regard to that. Is that something that's time sensitive?
I think it could be, Your Honor. I can't speak for the district attorney, but it could be.
I can tell the court, understanding what Mr. Walsh is referring to in motion number 2, it is not something that is going to occur in the next day or 2, so it's not time sensitive in that respect.
So you'll be received, if you want to put something in writing, you're welcome to, and I will issue a written order in a timely manner.
Does the court want to give us a deadline for that?
Sure. When would you like to file a response?
I can have it done in a day or 2.
Okay. And so, do you have control, Mr. Warren, as to when the testing is going to occur?
Absolutely. I can certainly make clear to our forensic agents that pending the litigation or the receipt of a court order on this, that we will not do any forensic testing.
That'd be great. So did you want to have time to file a reply to the response?
If necessary, if I could have 3 business days to file a response to whatever Mr. Walsh files in the next couple of days, I would appreciate that.
Okay, so Mr. Walsh, do you have something filed by close of business tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so close of business on Monday, Mr. Warren?
Yes, sir.
Then I'll have something to the parties by midweek next week.
Thank you.
Any other issues that we can resolve today?
Not from the people, no.
No, Your Honor. Okay. Okay, we are in recess. Thank you for your time.
I'm sure we will be having some conversations with family. You know, what does it mean? I don't know. But
Yeah, I don't know either, but I just know.
so
like,
maybe she, I don't know.
well, and then he ended up seeing them on the last like full day that he was there, and they told him supposedly that she had gotten really upset and had screamed and yelled in front of Chris's sister's kids that are very young, and to his mom and to his dad, and said like, "You're never going to see Chris again. You're never going to see me. You're never going to see the babies," and just like threatened them, and then like walked off. And I guess that was the incident that happened prior to him coming out there, and then she didn't tell him about it.
Mhm.
She just like let it go, and then he just spent all week trying to figure out why his family was like not trying to be involved.
Gotcha.
So again, I'm not sure. That was like it just feels really third party, so it's hard for me to like talk about because
Sure.
like, I don't know how
That's okay.
much validation.
So
there is in all that.
beyond the nut allergy for CC, did you know of any other? Did she take meds that you know of other than carrying an EpiPen?
His kids or his wife?
No, his children.
No.
And now, well, if you know anything about his wife's medical conditions, if she had any.
No, I've like read in the newspaper they keep saying, "Oh, she had medical conditions," and I'm like, is that a misprint? Are they talking about CC, or is that just something else I don't know?
So you don't know anything about Shanann having any kind of medical problems?
Nope.
Okay. Covered Saturday. So there's a phone call Saturday night, actually, from, it can't be Saturday, it had to be Sunday. I wrote that down quickly. Sunday night. Is there anything else you think, let me just back up, from the Saturday where you guys had a meal at the Lazy Dog to prior for the 6 weeks that you guys were serious? And although your dad's here and I think you're probably pretty comfortable, your relationship with Chris was, can you describe your relationship?
I mean, when he was with me, I considered it to be fairly healthy. It was open communication, and it was what I thought was honest, and it was very calm. It was respectful. We got along really well. He gave me my space when I needed it. I gave him his, and anytime like he wanted to take care of it, like anytime that his kids could be in like his life for hours or days or whenever they were home, I made sure that I wasn't a presence in his life so that he could be the best dad that he needed to be. And I mean, I thought what we had, it was very comfortable for me. I enjoyed it. I think he did very much as well.
You guys, 6 to 8 weeks, 2 months, whatever it was, you guys have an intimate relationship during that time.
Yes.
Okay. So you're pretty serious. Did he ever tell you that he loved you?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever tell him the same?
A couple times.
Notwithstanding that today, because those thoughts may have changed for you, but on, let's go Sunday into Monday or Monday, did you still love him on those days?
I think it was something where it was like I said it a few times and I meant it, but he definitely felt the urge to say it to me a lot more than I did to him because it was just all very new to me, and it was like, take your time with this. Like, you don't need to like rush that, you know? Like, I remember when he was in North Carolina and he was like trying to patch things up with his wife and he told me he loved me, and I was like, don't say that to me. Like, please go try to fit. And I mean, and that might even be in the text too, where it's like, don't say those words to me and then go try to make peace with your wife and lay in bed with another woman. Like, just don't do that. And I was like, it's not that I don't appreciate what you're saying to me. It's like, it just didn't sit right for me, you know? So I just feel like...
Almost like an insecurity where you had to say that to you? Or?
I don't know. I think he like... looking back at all this now, I don't think he was trying to fix things with her. So saying, I love you, to me, seemed like probably something that he genuinely meant. Like, I love this woman. And regardless of where he was going to end up that night. But to me, in the way that I was perceiving things, he had told me that he was trying to fix things with her. So it's just like, this is an inappropriate time. And I wasn't mad at him. And I'm pretty sure that's in the text too, where it was very like calm, but it's just like, it's almost disrespectful, where it's like, please don't. I'm like, you know, if we get to that point where it is you and me, like, yes, you can say that, but not then. Like, that's...
So you thought he was very genuine when he said that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, and he wrote it. It's in all those cards I gave you. Not in all of them. but like the later ones.
And
Thank you.
when you said it to him, you said you meant it when you said it.
Yes, I just didn't say as frequently as he said it. Like, sometimes he would say it, and I was just like, for me, it was still, like, very, very new, so I kind of, like, took my time and only said it when I was just like, this is a really important moment.
So you got, I mean, in the short period of time that you guys were together, he
Yes.
became very attached to you.
Yes. Very,
I
very
mean, he's
attached.
sending cards.
Flowers.
He's telling you he loves you. He sends you flowers. Does he buy you any other gifts?
Nope. I wouldn't have wanted them anyways. Flowers is enough. You can't. I don't need expensive stuff.
Okay. But he becomes very attached to you.
Yes.
You guys are talking multiple times a day, at least. You're
All the time.
You're seeing each other on a regular basis.
Yep.
So it's a very and his wife is not around, nor are his children. So there's a lot of time for you guys to build your relationship in this first four weeks or so. Is that fair?
Yeah, and even when she was back, I mean, it was still like we were still spending time together. He was still spending time with his children, and I had my own life. Like, I mean, there was one week where I just like went out of town with my friends for my birthday. I wasn't even around the whole like last few days of June up until the 3rd of July. I was like gone, you know. And then there was another like last weekend I had a friend impromptu come in town from out of state, and I hosted her for a few days. And it's like I still did my own thing all the time. Like, whether he was there or not, like, if my friends were like, hey, we want to make plans, I would tell him, like, we're not hanging out today because I want to go see my mom or my dad.
Did your friends know about him?
Nope.
Why?
Because it's like he's with 2 women right now. They don't need to know about
So
that.
if you had a boyfriend of 4 to 8 weeks on a regular, I don't know if you were married prior or if you had a boyfriend before, but if you had a steady boyfriend, you would have let people know. I think you told me before we got started that you just told your dad about Chris
No, I wouldn't
recently.
have told them. I wouldn't have told
Okay.
people. It's too early. I mean, people...
So you don't tell your friends, hey, I got a boyfriend.
People come and go. I mean,
Okay.
dating scene these days is like, it sucks. I mean, so, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it would have to be something, even with Sean. I think I was with Sean for probably like 6 or 7 months before I brought him home to my family. I mean, I really, same with, that was the guy I was in a previous relationship with, but...
But this one you were a little bit more, you said he's with 2 women. Was that one of your considerations for not telling anybody about him?
Yes, well, I mean, it was like, okay, like this, to me, it wasn't going to be an extended thing. Like, if it got to the point where we were, like, dating for, like, 3 or 4 months and he's still talking about, oh, I'm going to move out and I'm going to sell the house, I think at that point I probably would have just been like, I don't think you're really, like, doing these things you say you're going to do. And I probably would have just, like, left because at that point, it's not fair. It wasn't fair to me in the first place. It wasn't fair to her in the first place. It wasn't fair to any of us in the first place. You know, it wasn't fair to his family for him to have an affair. It wasn't fair to me to have him lie to me and make me think that everything is going to plan. And still to this day, I don't even know what's a lie and what's not. I don't even know if they were, like, filing for divorce. I don't know if they were putting the house up. I don't even know anymore what is real and what is not. But what I do know is it's just like, you know, that wasn't fair to me either, because if I'd have known not even all the truth, but like obviously some of it, I wouldn't have even engaged in any of this in the first place. And it just, I mean, and that's the part for me, just like on my personal level, outside of everything that is happening, that is gonna affect me long term. It's like, you know, I'm gonna wake up every day and know that, like, this mom and her unborn child and these 2 little girls are not around anymore, and it breaks my heart. It is so, oh my God. And then I have to think about, like, the consequences of his actions and how they affect everybody else. Like, all of these, her family's impacted. My name is about to be, like, slandered for probably a while. I don't know how long it's going to take to heal, but I would not be surprised if it's going to be hard to go out in public sometimes for a couple of years. And that really hurts me. I'm just like, this is a horrible, horrible thing. Like, how dare you, you know? And people aren't going to understand that. You know, they're going to say, oh, you know, you're the woman that had an affair with this man who took out his whole family. And I take a step back and it's just like, No! Like, he's so disgusting. I'm so ashamed of him and everything, and I just... Oh, those little girls. They're so little. They're so little.
We talked a little bit earlier about getting some help for these things, and we can provide that.
Okay.
At really no cost. Through the state.
One more, we just want to make sure there's resolution.
Absolutely.
That's why we come to you guys to pound it down
Hey,
until there's
I'm
nothing left.
sorry that you're talking again today. I really am. I don't want to put you through any more trauma than you've already been through. There is reasons for everything that we're doing today and what occurred. And I'm sorry. I genuinely am sorry. These are not things that we like to do twice. It's the same thing with other types of victims from other crimes. We want to do it once and we want to be done. Unfortunately, we didn't know yesterday what we know today, and that's why we're here, because we need this video. And I am sorry, because I know it's hard to talk about it.
But it's so sad, and she's pregnant.
And you know, on our end, we didn't.
And they're so cute. They're so little. Like, why? Why? How? I don't even understand how you could, like, bring yourself to do that to somebody who's, like, that big.
Take a minute. Do you want to step out for a minute?
No, I just need to chill with my eyes closed for a sec. I still cannot believe this is happening. Alright, let's keep going, because we're just getting to the meat of this whole situation.
Let's get to the phone call on Saturday from 9 to 11. What did you guys, or pardon me, on Sunday from 9 to 11?
Yeah, we talked a few times. So, Sunday,
Okay.
I think so. I need to think. I can't even think.
Take a couple breaths and take a second.
Sunday night. I don't even know. I don't think I was, like, concerned about anything at that point.
You guys had had a nice meal the night before. You knew his wife was probably coming home late that evening.
Oh, you know what? I still don't remember what we talked about. Honestly, we talk about so much random stuff. It's so hard to pinpoint some of these things. I don't remember what we talked about. I do remember that was a long phone conversation, though. We probably talked about all sorts of stuff. One thing I do remember, though, that I didn't remember earlier when I was talking to Mark. So this is, where I'm starting to remember, little bits and pieces. I don't remember. Yeah, I know. So the phone conversation... I don't remember what was in the phone conversation. Probably nothing of relevance, to be honest with you. But usually he talks to me when he's down in the basement in his bed before he goes to bed and before I go to bed. And I could hear the TV on, which I thought was kind of weird. I didn't ask him. I just heard it in the background. And I remember thinking, and it was right before we got off the phone, I was like, why the hell is he up? And there's no TV downstairs, so I was like, well, maybe, I don't know.
So no TV in the basement where he usually calls you from?
Yeah, and I don't know how many TVs they have. I've never been in their bedroom. I went upstairs once, and it was, to their little playroom, and I just, looked at it, and I was like, that's super cute that your girls have books, and that was, it. And other than that, I have never been in any of those rooms in that upstairs. To me, it was just, you don't know. Ever. I had no... So, I don't know if he has any other TVs. I'm assuming by, how much other nice stuff they have in their house, it wouldn't surprise me. So, I'm not quite sure what room he was in at that point. But I just remember hearing the TV. And I was like... It was just weird to me. Because I was like, why are you watching TV right now? It is, super late. And that was the only thing...
And he had phoned you? Or were you guys already talking when the TV was going? Or...
I just remember, I like, picked up on it, like, later, but I don't think it was, like, throughout the whole conversation.
Okay.
Like, I just remember it being towards the end, because I remember thinking, like, wow, it's really late.
The something I didn't ask you about the house, because you'd been there twice, and it just made me remember. Do you remember how you guys accessed the house?
That's a good question. So, once through the garage, and I think once through the front door. I think the first time was through the front door, I think. And I think the second time was through the garage.
Was there anything unique about either of the doors when you went into the house that might not be typical of another house?
Like a unique door?
Not the
they
door
have a
itself.
camera on their door.
Okay,
I mean,
there's
I
a
know that.
camera on the which door?
It's on the front door, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm asking.
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Did he use a key to access the house?
No. He did not. The first time I went over there, he just let me in. And then the second time, did we go through the garage? I don't remember. I've been through his garage before. I went through his front door once, though, because I remember he had just cleaned, it was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all the furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door. And he's like, the door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries. So I do remember that, just kind of offhandedly. And the second time, I want to say we went through his garage, because I remember his garage. I remember, yeah.
So he was at the house when you went there. You were never there by yourself.
He was at, yeah,
or
no.
he took you there.
The first time he was already there,
Okay.
and I met up with him. And the second time we went there together.
So the front door, I asked if he had used a key.
He let me in.
Okay. So there's a, those keypads where you can enter an access code. Do you remember seeing that on his door?
Like, I want to say vaguely, but to be honest with you, I don't remember. Like, he let me in that day. That
So
was
he never
so
gave
long
you
ago.
he never gave you the code to access his home?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
You talked about a security system. There was a camera on the front door. Was that just like what a Ring doorbell is that goes to your phone?
I don't even know what it looked like. I only
Okay.
know that it existed either because A, I wasn't paying attention the first time I was over there, but B, because of all the stuff that's going on right now. That's the only reason I know
Okay.
it's in
Did you remember
existence.
seeing any cameras anywhere in the house?
No.
Okay. Did he ever tell you about the alarm system or give you an access code to the alarm system?
No. I wouldn't have asked for that. I wouldn't have wanted that anyways.
Sorry to regress to that.
No, you're
Go
okay.
back to the phone call, or where you noticed the television in the background of the phone call.
Yeah. So I didn't know what room he was in, but I was just like, I just thought it was weird. Because he's always like, before I go to bed and I lay down, he's always like kind of trying to do the same thing. We just talk. It's like a really chill thing till one of us is about to pass out, and then that's like the end of it. But it was strange because I was like, the TV's on. I remember I was thinking, I was like, maybe he's waiting up for her. And then I was like, maybe not. I didn't know. It wasn't something that like alerted me. It was just different from his
Out of character
standard
for him.
operating procedure. Because whether his wife is home or she's gone, he's always got kind of like the standard op when he calls me. So that's why it was kind of like unique.
Okay.
Because it doesn't really fluctuate when she's there and when she's not there. He's pretty like free reign with what he does.
Mm-hmm. So anything important that you recall during that conversation about the children, about his wife, about what he was doing the next day, what he had planned, anything like that? Did he tell you any of that information?
I remember he told me he had to go to the field and not to the office on Monday morning.
Okay. Did he specifically say where he needed to go on Monday morning?
No, I don't ask him for those sites. There's like, Anadarko's got like thousands of sites. If he were to tell me, I wouldn't even
They're
know.
just like random numbers and stuff, right?
Well, he told me, he said, I got to go to a site. I got to go check out like a valve or something where they think that they had a release. Something like that.
Did he mention the town or anywhere?
No. He just told me that that's what he had to go do. He's
Okay.
like, he was like, I won't see you in the office in the morning. Because I see him, but I don't actually like talk to him. Like I will go in the cafeteria, I will put my lunch in the fridge, and him and his whole team are sitting in there, and I don't talk to any of them. I just walk out. But anyways, yeah, he's like, so I won't see you, I'm going to the field, which is not an uncommon thing for the ops guys to, like, just go straight to the field. Like, it happens. Like, typically they go to the office, I would say, like, 3 or 4 days a week, but there are days where him and his other team members are not there. Or, like, I'll get in there and some days the cafeteria is packed and they're all there. Okay. And other days I get in there and there's only, like, 3 or 4 of them.
So it didn't cause you any concern that he said,
No.
I'm going to the field on Monday, I won't see you. That wasn't...
No.
That's happened before.
Yeah, I mean, It wasn't something, I mean, and it's not just him, it's like that whole team. Like, you can just tell when they've got, like, a lot going on, because I'll walk in and there'll be, like, 2 of them, as opposed to, like, 6 or 7.
Do you know what he did Sunday during the day?
I don't even know what I did on Sunday during the day. I am so tired. Let me just think about this. Daniel came over Friday, I hung out with him Saturday, and then Sunday...
When did Jim come in?
Monday.
Huh.
Jim got here Monday. What did I do on Sunday? I am, like, drawing a blank. I'm really tired. I don't know. Can I get back to you on that?
Did you guys have any conversations on Saturday night during your meal, what he might be doing on Sunday?
I'm sure we did. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank, because I haven't slept.
If I say that he may have done something with his children, would that refresh
yes.
your memory?
He went to a birthday party.
Okay. Did you know whose house he was going to?
Nope. But I know that they had a water balloon fight.
Okay. He had one, or his children?
His children did.
Okay.
He said he used to get really into it. He said he got, like, really interactive with his kids. He's like, some of the adults don't really spend a lot of time playing with the kids, but
You
I
went
always
to
do.
the museum on what day, Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday.
Okay.
That's right. So
Okay.
that's what I was like, was I hanging out with you? God.
Very memorable event, huh?
Me and him and my stepmother and my
wife.
sister went to the museum, and
What
that's
museum?
right, the Denver Museum of Nature and Science. And they went to brunch prior to that, and I skipped brunch, and I went to the gym.
You shouldn't have. It was good.
I had to do core day. That was the last time I worked out, actually.
That's what we did Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, so core day, and then we went to the museum, and then.
When did he tell you about the water balloon fight on Sunday evening during your conversation on the phone?
I think so.
Okay. So you don't know whose house he went to on Sunday, but you knew it was for a child's birthday?
Yeah, and he had told me about that in advance, really, so I don't know if it was Saturday that he had told me that he was going to go that birthday, or, like, Friday. I just remember he was like, I got to go to this birthday party with my kids.
Any other conversation that makes sense?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm really tired, so I know there are certain things that I need to tell you guys that we'll get to as these days progress.
Yep.
But in all honesty, if it doesn't stand out to me now,
Today?
it probably
That's fine.
wasn't relevant.
What about that 9 o'clock thing you were telling me on Monday?
Oh, that he told me? Oh yeah, well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're still on Sunday.
So we're on
night.
Sunday.
We're
gonna get to
this is gonna be a long
we're gonna
night.
get there to Monday. We're getting there. So Sunday night or Sunday during the day, you had your own personal stuff going on with your family. You never see him on Sunday. Is that accurate?
No, I didn't see him. What did I do the rest of the day? I came home. I think I might have just chilled at my house. I don't remember. I think I cleaned my house. I don't know. I didn't see him though.
Okay. And
Yeah, Saturday was the last time I saw him.
Okay. Sunday, you're at home. You talk to him. We know you have a conversation in the late evening hours, and then you go to sleep on Sunday night. When's the next time you talk with Chris?
Probably Monday morning.
Do you know what time?
No, I mean, so we used to, like, randomly text each other, like, throughout the day. But we both get really busy, so some days, like, I don't hear a lot from him, and some days I don't text him until, like, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because I'm just, like, busy. And I remember I didn't hear a lot from him that day, which was, like, that's not out of the normal for either one of us during the day. But at one point, I do remember he, like, texted me, and he's like, oh, it's been a really busy day, and then, like, said some other stuff, which I'm sure you will find in my text. What he said, I don't know. It wasn't obviously anything that was, like, alerting to me. that's what I'm saying. Like, at this point, like, I remember really key things, but if it's like a conversation that I'm like, I don't remember exactly what was discussed, it's because it was probably just bullshit. Like, just talking to each other. Yeah.
Small talk stuff.
Yeah. But I remember he was busy that day, and we didn't talk that much. And then I clocked out at 3 is what my time card says. That's what I was showing Mark the other day. And I got home to go meet my buddy. One of my good friends was coming over to my house. And he actually has a key to my house, so he was actually there when I got there. And
who's that?
My friend Jim. And so Jim came over, and I got home. He was there. He had like just walked in the door, and I remember like briefly after he got there, I checked my texts. I mean, briefly after I met up with Jim, I like glanced at my texts, and Chris said something about like my family's not home, or like my wife and kids aren't home, like something to that effect. And I told Mark, because he asked me for a time, and I don't have an exact time, but I remember it was like right after I walked.
That was a text message, though.
Yeah, it's in a text, and it's like, it was like briefly after I walked in the door, so based off how long it takes me to get home from work and when I clocked out, it's probably about 3:45 p.m. Texts me and tells me that. And like, he knows when I get off of work too, so he doesn't always bug me if I'm busy, so I don't know what's up with that, but that's when he sends that to me. And
so you're saying that he would have known that you would have had your phone available to you and not been at work when he sent you that text message?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
So looking back at it, you think it was purposefully sent at that time?
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm just asking your feeling on that.
Yes, and then he said, call me when you can. And I was
There was
like,
no other communication between you and him that morning, on Monday morning?
well,
at all?
there was, but it was like random, like,
But nothing about this event?
no.
About, like, my wife's missing, or
No.
anything?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
And you knew he wasn't coming to the office because he had told you that Sunday night?
Yeah, and then he goes, and so like they're only in the office for the morning. Like
Right.
some days it's longer than others, but I would say by a maximum of 7:30 every single morning they're all gone, and they don't come back unless they have like a meeting or something that they have to attend. So like not seeing him for the rest of the day is not like an unnormal thing.
Okay.
Like, but like I'm saying, like we don't really. The only reason we interact was kind of like by an off chance thing. Like I don't work with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he, yeah, we talked like randomly throughout the day, but it was really sporadic, and he seemed pretty busy, so we didn't talk too much. Like I said, didn't put too much thought into it. It happens all the time. Waited till about 3:45, then sent that text to me, and yes, he does know that I will be home at that point, or getting home.
Did you give Mark Jim's information?
No, I would really not like to involve him in this.
Okay.
He does not know about this. He was not, he doesn't know any of this is occurring.
Okay.
Like I was
So
literally
he knows, certainly through the media, that something's occurred.
Yeah, he's
with
like
Chris.
out of town. He's probably has
Okay.
no idea. He doesn't know
Okay.
who Chris is. Like he's not. I do not know.
So he's just a friend of yours.
Yes.
That
He does not
was
need to be
coming
dragged
to your
into this.
apartment and doesn't know anything about Chris. Does he know anything about
No,
Chris? Okay.
nothing. Absolutely
And
not.
we've known Jim for
Yeah.
years and years.
You're not dating him or anything like that?
No,
It's just a
he's
friend.
like one of my very good friends. Like my dad knows him. He's a great guy. He works out of state a lot, so when he's in town, we hang out. But when he's in town and he's off of work to save time, so I give him the key to my house, one, because I trust him and he's one of my best friends, and two, because sometimes he will just meet me there, because I'll be like, hey, I'm getting off of work, and then if I get stuck in traffic or something, he ends up sitting outside of my apartment waiting for me to get off of work. So I'm like, here's the key, and my dog loves him and stuff. So no, he's not.
So he's just a
involved
family
with
friend.
Yes, I don't even
The only
want
reason
him
I
dragged
ask,
into this.
and I'm not really concerned about your location. I think we already have your cell phone records. At some point, did Mark ask you to supply? Did they ask for consent to get cell phone records? That'll probably be done by warrant. If we
Isn't that
wanted,
what you just did?
Nope. What I'm talking about is your movement.
Oh.
By GPS or by cell phone tower to show where you were. Obviously, and I don't want to cause you concern, we want to know where you were that day too. you're dating a man who did some egregious stuff, and we want to show that you were never near him that day. Period.
I mean, you guys
So-
can track my
No,
stuff.
yeah, I mean that was something we will have to get a warrant for, anyways. I'm just saying, if we asked for it, would you have any objections to that?
No, you can have
Right.
it.
So,
I'm a pretty boring person.
well,
I don't
it sounds
go
like
to
you
many
just went to
places.
work that day, and then you came home, and you were there at 3:45.
Yeah, like
on
give or
Monday.
take like 5
Yeah,
minutes.
whatever.
But yeah, so 3:45. I meet Jim there. Yeah, I would
And
totally
so
re-
Jim is understand from an investigative point, he could be a person who could say, yeah, I was there at 3:45. He doesn't know Chris. He doesn't know anything. He could say with one phone call, yeah, she came in at 3:45. Done.
Totally.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask anything more than, hi, Chris, my name's Kevin. Or Jim. And I'm not
just
saying
leave
you have to
Jim
give it to
alone.
you.
Just leave Jim
But
alone.
If
Jim
at
does not
some
need to be wrapped
point,
up in this.
if at some point I needed Jim's info to, let's say we couldn't find your phone records, would you
You
tell me
can
who
have
Jim
them.
was?
I will give them to you.
Would you tell me who Jim was if I
If
couldn't
you
get him?
had to.
Okay.
I don't really want to
Great.
involve him in this. That was not
Perfect.
fair to him. That's not, no, if I do not have to do that.
That's fine.
Yeah, so anyways, Chris was like, call me.
And this is the 3:45 text.
Yeah, he sent me like a few. I think there was 3 of them, and I don't remember what the other one said, but something about like, yeah, my family's gone, or I don't remember verbatim, but call me when you can, or call me when you have a chance, something to that effect. And so when he told me call me, I was like kind of alerted, where I was like, okay, what's going on, you know? But first when he told me like his family was like not home, that didn't really seem odd to me that his family wasn't home. It was really vague. I'm like, okay, like, are they at the grocery store? Like, elaborate. And so, you know, and then, but he says, call me like it's like an emergency, but then just says that they're not there. And so I'm like really like floored by that. Well, not like floored, but just kind of like, he says, call me, so I'm concerned. And then he's really vague, so I'm like, maybe he just wants to talk to me. I don't know. I think it took me a little while to like really process the severity of the situation, just because this is not something that you expect to see every day, and the way that he talked to me made me believe that this is not what was going on at all.
Okay, so you make a phone call to him and you guys have a conversation.
I did. I stepped outside.
This is 3:45.
Ish. I mean, well, like, I think I actually interacted with Jim for, like, probably a good 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, he's my guest. He's in my house. So I don't think I called him right away. But, like, I mean, I'm trying to balance the fact that I have my friend here, and then Chris is saying that something needs to be addressed. But to me, it didn't sound like an emergency. I mean, it's all the time. Like, people aren't home right now. You know, so it just... It wasn't like, oh my God, I have to take this call.
It didn't register as being critical.
No. I mean, it was the way he said it. And I was like, okay. So I remember hanging out with Jim for a while, and then I stepped outside and I made a call, like, out on my back patio. And I called him. And he didn't answer the phone. And then he texted me back. Or no. Did he answer the phone? I don't remember. I think he missed my call, and then he called me back. Or he just answered. Either way, it was a very short talk to him where he was just like, I have to go. The cops are here. And I don't remember if he said that on the phone or over text.
That's
I don't
okay.
even, I'm so tired.
That's fine. You don't
But
need
either
the
way,
different,
like,
it's
the
just
cops,
the context.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will figure it out. The cops are here. And I'm just like, all right. And then I remember we were we were texting, but I was like hanging out with my company, so it wasn't like a nonstop text. It was just kind of like I would check my phone every once in a while, and we would communicate with each other. And he was just saying like they weren't there, and that her friend Nikki was there, and that her friend Nikki had called the cops. And I'm like, why would this girl call the cops? And like, I honestly do not remember the order of operations on all of this, but I'm pretty sure the majority of our conversation that night until my friend Jim left the house, which was probably pretty late, I don't even know what time, like 9 or 10, was all via text. So you should have this via text. Like,
Okay.
I don't think we started talking again on the phone until, like, after my company left. And he was like, I don't know, he just started like giving me details about stuff, and I don't remember what order, but he was saying like, Nikki was really upset and that the cops were there and that they were like searching the house, and I was just like, what? You know, like what? Why? And he was telling me that they had like had a disagreement or something like that, and then he told me like she was gonna go to a friend's house, and I was like, okay, well, maybe she left, you know, maybe she just like went to her friends. And then I think I don't remember, but I think he was the one that told me that her cell phone and her purse were still there. I think he told me that.
He told you her cell phone and purse were still there?
I think he did. I don't remember.
What's the significance of that in your mind at that time?
At that point, I thought this woman was really trying to get out of this house. That's what I thought, because he said that they'd had a disagreement, and I was just like, okay, well, I mean, I leave my cell phone at home.
When he said disagreement, what did he tell you what it was about, or?
Not at that point. Not at that point. So, again, like, you guys are going to have to check these texts, because it's all, like, my brain feels
That's
like
okay.
a mashed potato right now. But I remember him saying that, and I'm just thinking, like, well, maybe she was in a rush, you know? Like, maybe she was just like, I'm going to my friends. I'm leaving my cell phone here because I don't want you calling me. I don't want anyone else calling me. I mean, there are days where, like, when I'm outside of work, I will just shut my phone off. I just do it, and it's, like, my way of getting peace. So to me, that, I mean, like, it was weird that it wasn't even that weird to me that she left her phone just because I leave my phone, but it was weird to me that she left her purse. But knowing the fact that that girl was, like, always on her phone, then, yeah, I guess it is kind of odd.
Like, she lived on her phone, I think,
yeah.
pretty much, is my understanding of her and a phone. So, I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Until prior to the media stuff, or just from Chris.
I did.
So, did that strike you as odd? But you're thinking maybe she just left.
I just thought she needed to, like, get away from the situation. I mean, that didn't seem that awkward to me, that a couple that is going through separation would be like, I need to leave. I just need some space. Like, it didn't even, like, process. I was like, okay, like, give her some space, you know? And on that note, too, when he was in, we're going to jump back for just a second.
It's okay.
I had a thought. So when he was coming back from North Carolina, that was when he officially told me we're going to get a divorce and we're going to put the house up for sale. Like, he told me they were separating and they were, like, going to put the house up for sale, but they hadn't done it yet. And then when he got back from North Carolina, that was when he was like, it was like a sealed deal.
Okay.
And the reason that is of significance is because at some point over the weekend, I don't remember when, he told me that they were putting the house up. I don't know if it was they were putting it up on Monday, like the day they went missing, or if it was that they were calling the realtor to verify some stuff so they could put it up that week. Like, I don't quite remember. I just remember, like, the house was supposed to be, like, on the market, like, that week.
Did he name a realtor ever?
Yeah, he did, and I don't remember her name. It was a female.
Okay.
And I don't remember her name, like, at all. I was trying to think of that for you guys not too long
Is
ago.
that the company? Do you got the company name?
No, he never gave me that. He, like, gave me her name, and it was the same name twice. He gave it to me once when he was in North Carolina, and then once the other time. Because I remember asking, I was like, who's that? Because he's like, I'm going to have her call so-and-so today and make sure everything's still good to go. And I was like, who's that? He's like, the realtor. It's like, oh. Or not today, but, like,
if it ever comes to your
Monday.
mind, just...
Yeah, I
give me a
doubt
voicemail,
it. That
give
was
me a
such
call.
a...
Yeah.
I will try. I don't
Lots
remember
of names.
what it was.
It's fine. It's not that critical. That person may come forward to us anyways, perhaps. So don't worry about it. Let's go back to the phone calls on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, so he's, like, texting me a lot of this information, and I'm starting to kind of freak out. And it's not like I'm freaked out like, oh, she got murdered. I mean, that is not what I thought. It's like, okay, like, the way I looked at this, like, apparently his wife had been gone since midday, was when she got, like, reported missing. I didn't know that. Like, the way I looked at this, it was, I got home from work just now. I mean, he didn't say that, but I interpreted, I just got home from work. And my family is not here. So when we're texting for, like, a few hours, like, the cop thing was kind of weird. But he's like, Nikki insisted they call the cops. Nikki insisted they call the cops. And I'm like, okay, you know, and I'm just trying to figure out, well, like, what role does this woman play in this situation? Like, is she...
Did you know who she was?
No, I don't know any of his people. Like, this has been pretty, like, tight wrap for a while, which is probably a really good thing. But anyways, I didn't know, like, who she was. And so, like, I started asking him. I was like, well, where do you think your wife is at? And he's like, I think she'll be back tonight. Like, I think she's, like, out with somebody. And he was telling me that they had a disagreement. So I was like, well, I remember telling him, I was like, you should make sure that you have wait a minute. No. So all that happened, and then it starts getting kind of laid out. And I remember we talked for text for a while and part of this conversation, and then it moved to the phone. And I remember telling him, because he was like, I think she'll just be back tomorrow. I think she's just going to be gone for the night, like, with a friend, you know? And
Did he name the friend?
No, he didn't. And, like, because I don't think, he made it sound like he didn't know, like, what friend's house she would be at. And I remember talking to him, and I was like, well, maybe it's that Nikki girl. And he's like, well, Nikki called the cops, so why would she be at Nikki's house? I'm like, I don't know, kind of throws her off the trail of where she's at, you know? And it's like, it sounds kind of weird, but it's like, he really made this sound like this woman was just, like, upset, left the house, and that was probably what he thought happened to her. And so I didn't really put too much, like...
Did he tell you the kids were missing as well?
Yes,
with her?
I knew.
Okay.
I mean, which made sense to me, because I was like, well, if you were at work all day... I mean, he didn't tell me he got home early. He didn't say that to me. So, I mean, it made sense. Like, if she's going to leave, they should probably go with her. And so, I don't know. I feel like I wish I should have, like, processed all of this earlier, but I just don't feel like... When one of my friends is gone, I'm like, oh my God, they got murdered. We should address this. Like, I haven't heard from them in 4 hours.
It's not a typical thought when somebody just checks out for a day.
No. So it got late at night, and, like, I remember telling him, I was like, he's like, I think she'll be back tomorrow. And he was going to go into work, and I told him not to. I was like, you need to stay home, and you need to help the cops. I'm like, and you need to wait for her to come back. And he's like telling me, like, well, what if, like, she comes back and she sees my truck? And I was like, you know what I would do? I was like, I would ask one of your good friends who's off of work tomorrow to come over this house and hang out with you while you're here. I was like, and go park your truck down the street. I was like, so she's upset at you and she wants to come back. I was like, but she doesn't want to be here if you're here, maybe. I was like, if she comes back, I was like, and she doesn't see your truck, maybe she'd be more willing to come in the house. I'm like, you know, I'm like, but don't be alone with her. I was like, because if she's upset enough to leave, I was like, you don't know what kind of confrontation you're going to have when you get back in the house. And I was like, so that's why you should have a friend there so that you're not alone with her. And I was like, and if for some reason you are alone with her, I told him, I was like, I really thought she just left. I did. I was like, get your phone, put it on video, and put it in your pocket. And I was like, and just zip it up. And he's like, why? And I told him, I was like, because you can voice record. I was like, so if she comes home, I was like, and you two are still, like, you know, if there's some choice words being said, because you guys obviously got into, like, something that's, you know, early
Did he
in the
ever
morning.
articulate what their argument was
He did,
about?
and I will get there. But, you know, I told him, like, just be prepared. You know, because at this point, like, it wasn't like I was, like, trying to make her to be a bad person. It was just like, I didn't know what was going on. I assumed that she had left, so I was like, well, when you get back, because I knew that they were going through a divorce, it was like, just cover your bases, you know, try not to be alone. And if you are, just record what you guys are talking about, so, like, at the end of the day, like, nothing bad happens to you, you know? And, like, that was kind of how I processed that whole situation. And so, he was like, all right. And then, she didn't come home that night. That was Monday night, right? Yes.
We're talking about Monday.
Monday night, yes. And he told me this is what he told me they talked about, and I realized that this is, like, total bullshit, and I think he's telling you guys a different story. And I think the reason that he's telling me what he's telling, I think the story he's telling you is probably slightly more accurate than the one he told me on this case, and the reason is because I think he was trying to save his ass with the fact that she's pregnant. So he told me that she had asked him to wake her up before he left for work on Monday morning. And so I don't know if she did that on a text or how it was supposedly communicated. But he said that he went to get her up, which I also found weird because, like, she's still sleeping when he leaves because she gets up with the kids. And they get up shortly after that, but, like, it's just him in the mornings, you know. And so he said that she woke up and those two kind of just, like, got in a disagreement. And I don't know what all was said, but he was like, she was being pretty mean. And then he said, she told me that she's pregnant. And she told me that the kid is not mine. That is what he told me.
So she's pregnant, the kid's not mine.
And that she's...
Like he's playing it, he didn't know she was pregnant?
Yep.
Until that morning.
Yep.
And that she had an affair with somebody else.
Yes, and this is before I knew she was 15 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
Like all the stuff on Monday that I read from my recollection, because I didn't find out she was pregnant until Tuesday. So anything that got posted on Monday did not emphasize the fact that she like had a baby on board. So then...
Let me ask you something. You said that he usually gets up in the morning and it's him and she gets up and takes care of the kids. Is that the routine that you know for them? Or do you know him to get up and like prepare meals prior to him leaving the home?
Well, he gets up and he like goes to the gym and he works out in his basement and like makes breakfast, and I don't know.
Does he make breakfast for himself or does he make breakfast for his children?
I don't know. I don't know. They're still sleeping at that point. Like all I know is he at one point in sometime in this whole thing, he told me that they usually get up at like 6:30 and she gets him ready and takes him to school and like does all the morning stuff with them as far as I know, and then in the afternoons when he gets home from work he kind of does more of the afternoon stuff.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a tag team operation that they have going on, but I think she does more in the AM and he does more in the PM.
Right.
Is kind of how I process that, but I don't know.
Okay. So she's mean to him and then throws this out.
Yes.
That she's pregnant from another man.
And I said, do you believe her? And he was just like, he said something about like, oh yeah, like she kind of looked like she was showing when we were in North Carolina, but I wasn't sure. And I'm like, so you think she's pregnant? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, do you think she's like having an affair? And he's like, I think she said that out of spite. And he's like, and I was like, okay. And then, and again, like, I think he's just saying all this to me to try to cover his tracks with me. Like, I don't know what he told you guys, but I bet it's probably very different. And I think that what he said to me, it was, like, directed towards me. Like, this whole bullshit little box lie that he had right there was, like, the lie directed
Did he
at
say when the
me.
argument started?
Nope. He just said it was in the morning. He said he woke her up in the morning.
Okay. Did he say when she came home? Did he ever let you know that?
I think I want to say he said around like 2, but I don't know.
Okay. And then he woke her for what purpose?
Because she asked him to.
Okay.
So I was under the impression that he was asleep. I'm assuming this is how it like went, and what he was trying to tell me is that he was asleep by the time she got home. And she sent him a text and said, wake me up before you leave. And then he woke her up, and they got in an argument, and then he went to work.
Okay.
That's how I processed
And the
it.
context of that argument, again, was just she's pregnant. And is there anything else that he shared with you?
He did not elaborate on it, and I didn't ask.
What were you thinking at that time?
This was like on Monday. Again, at that point, I was like, I still thought she left. I mean, this was all on Monday. Like, I legitimately thought this woman left the premises with her kids and just wanted nothing to do with him for like 24 hours.
So his story was believable that she was pregnant from another man and maybe she took off for that guy, or...
He said several times, like, I think she just said that out of spite.
Okay.
Like, he thought she was with one of her friends.
So he held true to that story.
Pretty much.
She's just leaving and she's with a friend.
That was kind of what he thought. And that's kind of what he had me believing. And at the time, I wasn't really alarmed because it had been like a half a day.
Sure.
And so then Tuesday rolled around and...
Did you see him at all on Monday? You said you didn't,
No.
right? Earlier.
I did not see him. And I went to work Monday.
Did he ever
Tuesday.
try to convince you to come see him or say he wanted to come to your house?
No, not at all. We were supposed to go pick out apartments to go look at on Wednesday, so yesterday. but that obviously
Right.
didn't
So
work.
on Monday, he never tried to be convincing to get you to come up to see him.
No.
Nothing.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think so, because I had my buddy Jim was over Monday and Tuesday, and he knew Jim was over Monday and Tuesday, and that's why we were going to hang out on Wednesday.
Okay.
So no, he didn't ask me. So Tuesday rolled around, and she still wasn't around, and this is when I started getting kind of sick. Like, my friend Jim was sick on Monday when he came up, and I don't know. I just started feeling like crap as it was, and then I was just kind of having a hard time focusing and, like, thinking about what was going on. And I'd asked him a few times, I'm like, where's your family, Chris? Like, where's your family? You know, and he would tell me, like, oh, I don't know, or I want them home. Like, I asked, like, several times, so I think I got different responses, but each time, like, he didn't know where they were. You know, and I'm like, she's still not home, and he's like, no. And I had also asked him to, like, he said he had a friend, Dave, that was a cop, which I also find convenient that there's another Dave working this case who's a cop. But I was like, well, if Dave's off, why don't you just have him, like, post up outside your house too and see if she shows up, you know? And he told me on Tuesday morning, he was like, I called Dave and asked him to sit outside my house, and he's gonna do it. And he's like, and then my friend Nick is coming over later on this afternoon. And I was like, okay.
Did you ever hear Nick's name before?
I've actually heard that name a few times, like,
Okay.
around him. Like, there's certain, I never heard Dave before. Dave was new, but I've heard the name Nick a lot, so I don't know if that's, like, real or what, but if I was to guess, like, friends that he, like, legitimately has, I would assume that he was one of them. But yeah, because I know he's told me before, like, when we first started hanging out, that Nick lived kind of in the area, and he's like, he actually goes, he's a trail runner, and he's like, he runs at East Lake number 3.
So he lives in your area?
Kind of.
Okay.
And I remember him saying that to me once. He's like, you know that park that we, like, hung out at? I was like, yeah. He's like, my buddy runs over there. We should not go to that park anymore. And I was like, okay. That's cool. And, anyways.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning.
We're almost done.
I know. I'm trying to just keep it all together here for you guys. Tuesday morning. Oh, so he said Dave was going to stay outside of his house, and Nick was going to come over that afternoon. I was like, all right. And then, I think most of the texting throughout that day was kind of like, have you heard anything? Like, what's going on? It was kind of like me checking up on him. And I don't remember everything, but it wasn't, I didn't even make it through the entire workday. Like, I was feeling really, really sick, like, in general. And then I decided on my lunch break to get on the internet and look at what was going on with all the reports. And I saw a report that was like, this woman who's 15 weeks pregnant and her 2 daughters are missing. And I was like, whoa, what? And I was just, like, so floored, and I read a couple other articles just to make sure that, you know, all the newspapers are, and, like, just double check, like, am I really reading this right? And I'm like, okay. And he had told me previously, like, she says she's pregnant with another man's kid, but he'd said, like, he could kind of tell in North Carolina, but that girl is, like, obviously pregnant. I mean, in her photos. I mean, 15 weeks, that's like 4 months. That's pretty far along. And so it's like, how would you not know if she's showing? Like, you totally know she's showing. And so, oh my God, I got so sick. I was just like, I need to go. I just, like, packed my stuff and I left work and I went home. And I remember I told Jim that I was going to get home early, and he wanted to come over right away, and I was just like, I just needed some time to, like, process what was going on. But I did tell him, I was like, you can come over earlier than you did yesterday, because he didn't want to wait in traffic. That was the thing. He's like, save me some time. So I don't remember what time he got there. I probably still have that text, because I don't have any reason to delete those. But he came over a little early, but I did have, like, a gap of time in there. I don't know how long it was. I bet it was, like, from the time I got home to the time Jim got there, but it was probably, like, I don't know, hour and a half, maybe, somewhere around there. I remember talking to Chris during this time, and it was, like, all text. I did not talk to him on the phone at all on Tuesday. And I was pretty upset, where I was just like, you know, I was going back and forth, like, where's your family, this and this and this, but I'm like, she's pregnant, you know, and this and this, and he's like, the baby's not mine, and I'm just like, you told me yesterday that you think that when she said that she cheated on you, she did it out of spite. And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, so then it's your kid. And he kept denying it. And then, like, he started, like, kind of worrying about us. He'd just be like, well, does this ruin everything with us, this and this and this? And I'm like, no. I'm like, just trying to, like, his situation is so much more important right now than, like, our situation.
But his main concern is you and him.
Kind of, sort of. I mean, and I keep, like, asking him, like, I'm like, and I told him numerous times, which is also in the text that you guys will pull, where I'm just like, you need to focus on finding your kids and your wife right now. And I was like, and you need to focus on finding all 3 of your kids. And I, like, kept, like, emphasizing to him, like, he had 3 kids, you know? And, like, I wasn't even, like, mad about it. I was just like, you need to find your family.
Did he ever go look for them that you know of?
I don't know. I don't think so. That, like, doesn't even, like, ring a bell to me, so I don't think so.
Okay.
But, oh, and I forgot something else that's really important. I'll add it in there, too, but let me just finish this thought. So then, Tuesday, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So I kept telling him, I was like, Chris, I know it's yours. It's okay. I was like, go find your family, you know? And it's like, was I hurt? Yes. But at the time I realized, like, his situation with what he had going on was, like, way more important than, like, our situation. And so that's why I was just like I confronted him about it, and then I was like, you need to go find them. And, like, we talked about it for a little while, and then I was just like, I don't remember exactly how it went, but something along the lines where I was like, why can't you just be honest with me? I was like, stop lying to me. Like, stop lying.
Did you have an inclination? You've talked to this man a lot, and during this Tuesday, Wednesday conversation, did you feel like he was bullshitting you?
A little bit, kind of, yeah. I mean, because he was like, not Monday. Monday I did not. But Tuesday, yeah, that's when it all started to click. I was like, oh my goodness, because he was like, well, like, he just didn't seem as, like, concerned as he should be, and he was, like, super worried about shit with us, and I'm just like...
So concerned about his family and overly concerned about your relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
And I kept, like, trying to put it on the back burner, and shame on me for bringing it up in the first place. I was just really taken back, like, wait a minute. She's 15 weeks, like, how would you not notice that? Like, I was just, like, I was confused. And I was also like, is he lying to me? And I kind of wanted to know, because I realized that, like, there's a situation at hand here, and I'm just like, what is going on? You know, and for part of it, it wasn't even, like, me trying to find out because I'm upset. It was almost like me trying to find out because I'm like, is there something else I'm missing here? Like, I felt like there was, like, pieces to this puzzle that I didn't know existed that were, like, not in place, and it was strange. And so, anyways, I told him, I was like, be honest with me. I was like, don't lie. And I don't remember exactly how it went, but I was, like, trying to emphasize, like, stop bullshitting me. So he told me the truth. And he told me it was his, and then he knew about it.
Okay.
I was like, okay. And then he asked me again, like, did that ruin everything? And I was like, no, it didn't. And in the back of my head, it's like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not dealing with that. Don't lie to me. But his situation is so critical right now that's, like, I'm not going to, like, ruffle his mental feathers because they're already, like, really ruffled because of the situation. So, like, out of respect for his mental health, I just, like, dropped it. And I just kept telling him, like, we're okay, we're okay, we're okay. But
how many times do you think he asked you during these phone calls?
Oh, it wasn't phone call. This was text.
Pardon me.
Text Tuesday.
Text Tuesday. How many times do you think he brought up your relationship and if you guys were okay?
Probably like 2 or 3 times.
And how many times did he bring up concern for his children or his wife?
I think he brought it up a lot too. I mean, he kept telling me that he was, like, worried about them.
Okay.
I mean, it happened. It wasn't like he was just, like, spaced out. I mean, he was definitely showing that too. I was just surprised that he was, like, also showing it for me. Because at that moment, if I had some crazy stuff going on with somebody in my family, I would be putting all my relationship stuff on hold. Like, look, like, baby, I got to deal with this. Someone in my family is missing. When I find them, we will talk. And that would just be it. But that's just me. I mean, that's how I would address the situation. And that's kind of how I've been, like, gauging how I handled Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is, like, what would I have done?
Sure.
You know, and kind of, like, that's why, like, I didn't contact you guys on Monday, because I probably wouldn't have done that for one of my friends. And not that I'm cold-hearted. It's just, like, it just, that's just not how me and my friends work. So it didn't, you know. So
there's extenuating circumstances that you wouldn't have known that caused her friends to be concerned. Just so you know, there's nothing wrong with you for not going, oh, something's wrong, and calling the police. The people that provided the information to the police initially had way more information about her than you do, so that's why they came forward. So I can see it. I can feel a little reservation that you're like, why didn't I do something? You didn't know enough? I think a normal person on Monday, a reasonable person, is just going, shit, this woman's, you know, whacked out relationship with her husband. She's got 2 kids. Now she's pregnant. She just takes off. So don't blame yourself for not making a phone call to the law enforcement or going to the police. You didn't know anything. So I'm just trying to help you get past that. Don't worry about it. Okay. It's not, the people that came to us had way more info than you did regarding what was happening with her life. Okay. So don't beat yourself up over that. Please don't. Okay.
And then so Tuesday, after that conversation, I told him, I told him to delete his text, because I knew he was, like, going crazy texting me, and I didn't want any of his friends to see him texting me, because I don't think they knew about me. It had nothing to do with you guys. It was just like, I mean, and you'll see him, you know.
The secrecy of your relationship.
Pretty much. And I just, like, feel like he was, like, texting me so much openly, and he had friends there, that I was like, I didn't want them to see that. And so I was, like, trying to get him to slow down. And then I told him, too, like, after he lied to me, I was just kind of like, I was done. And I was trying to find a way to, like, get away from the situation without alarming him or panicking him. So I told him, like, everything is all good, I'm still here for you, and I feel bad because, like, I lied to him, but, I mean, I, like, just try to keep him calm, and then I told him, like, contact me once they find your family. And then we'll talk.
That was Tuesday?
That was Tuesday.
Okay.
And he sent me a text back saying something along the lines of, like, what did he say? Something like, please just think of, and, like, I kept telling him I was scared. I was really freaking scared. In fact, that's another thing I'm missing. I'm so tired. Monday night, like, I called him back in the middle of the night because I could not sleep. I could not sleep at all. And I remember when I called him, he sounded like he was sleeping. And I was like, how the hell can you sleep right now? I think that's exactly what I said to him. And he was just like, I'm just kind of dozing off and on the couch. And I just remember thinking, like, I haven't shut my eyes yet. And this is not even my family. And so that happened on Monday night. So then I was going somewhere with that had to do with Tuesday. I forgot what it was. I'm so sorry.
Take a breath and relax. We're almost to Wednesday, and then we're out of here.
Yeah, so then... so then once he lied to me, I just really trying to, like, push him away, and he was like, just don't forget, like, the person that you knew me to be when you were with me, or something like that, and, like, it
was that strange?
It just kind of sounded almost like a farewell, and, like, I didn't think it was too weird, because I was like, I think he realizes that I'm really upset that he lied to me, and I think he's aware of the fact that I'm probably about to walk away from him, so I think that was, like, his way of, like, saying goodbye. So it didn't really seem strange in the context of what was going on between, like, the him and I part of stuff. And then, and I kept asking him, too, like, what did you do, Chris? What did you do? And he was like, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, where's your family? And, like, I asked him that. I don't know if I started doing that on Tuesday or if I started doing that on Monday. But I think it was Tuesday, because I don't really think I was that alarmed on Monday. And then, So that was supposed to be like our final sign-off text. And then Jim got there at my house, and I was hanging out with Jim. But I was still, like, in my head, just kind of, like, stressed out. And I remember I, like, walked out of the room, went in my bedroom, and texted Chris one more time. And I told him, I was like, if you did something bad, I was like, you're going to ruin your life. And I was like, and if you did something bad, I was like, you're going to ruin my life. And I was like, and I promise you that. And he responded back to me, and he's like, I didn't hurt my family, Nikki. And that was, like, the last text. That was the last time we ever talked. And I never said another word to him after that.
That was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday. And then he left me alone. He gave me the space that I asked him. He respected it. And he didn't, like, mess with me at all.
Was that a phone call where you said?
No, that's all Tuesday. Text Tuesday.
Text Tuesday.
Call it
All
text
text.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Everything was text. I did not talk to that man on the phone at all that day. I mean, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was all text. And then...
So at that time in your mind, if you said that, what are you thinking? What were you thinking, that he maybe did something to his family?
Yeah, I started getting really scared.
What caused that thought?
The fact that he lied to me.
Okay.
And that she still wasn't home, and it was day 2. Like, I figure if you're upset for a day, you leave for a day, but you come back. And she wasn't back. And it was, like, midday. And not only that, but, like, she doesn't have her phone. She doesn't have her car. She doesn't have the kids' EpiPen. She doesn't have any of that. So what I'm thinking in my head is, like, for a night, if you're really upset, somebody comes one of your friends picks you up, like, okay. But I can't explain that for 2 days. Like, that just doesn't, like, logically process in my mind as something that any woman I know would do. The one-night thing, I know women that would do that. But the 2-night thing, no. And so I'm like, she's still not back. And he just lied to me. And it made me, like, I just started getting scared. And I remember, like, telling him that throughout the whole day. Like, I don't even know how many times I texted him that. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, like, 8-10 times. Where I'm just like, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. And one of the last texts that I sent to him, too, I told him, I said, I'm scared because I feel like I don't know who you are anymore. And
his response to that?
I don't even remember, to be honest with you. I think that was, like, in that, like, sign-off text that I sent to him.
Okay.
But, I mean, I was, like, kind of scared. What I was really scared for was scared for his family's well-being, because it's like, I don't know where these people are at this point, and it's scary. I mean, it's scary that she's gone, but it's even more scary to me that these little girls are gone. Like, that was the part that really freaked me out. Like, if it was just her, I'd be like, well, maybe she took off with somebody, maybe she didn't. I mean, I don't know, because she's a grown woman and she can make those choices.
Was some of this scared, was there fear in you that people were going to find out about your relationship too?
No, I didn't even care about that at that point. I was just,
okay.
like, scared, like, of the situation. It was, like, getting escalated, and it was freaking me out. And he was just, like, he was strange. So another thing, so that was Tuesday, and that was it for Tuesday, but I forgot some stuff on Monday that I did need to bring up to you guys. So Monday, when we were on the phone, at one point, he mentioned to me, I can't even believe I have to say this, she left her wedding ring here. And I said something along the lines of, does that mean you two are done? And he was like, he said, how much do you think it's worth? And I was like, remember hearing him say that and being like, what the fuck? And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't even know how to respond to this. And so I was like, I don't know, pawn it, man. And I was just like, I pawn jewelry all the time. I was like, I pawn jewelry a few times. I was like, it's not worth shit, though. And I was like, so I don't know if you really want to do that. And he's like, no. I think I'm going to get it appraised. It's a nice rock. And I was just like, okay. And it was, like, really awkward.
And that was on Monday?
That was on Monday night. And that, to me, was, like, it was kind of strange. And then the Tuesday lying thing. Like, I'm telling you, it started, like, Monday night, him saying that was why I couldn't sleep, because he made the comment about the wedding ring.
Okay.
And then Tuesday, her still not coming home, and then him lying to me. And I was just like, oh my God, like, what if something happened? And it was, like, really hard for me to
When you say, what if something happened, what were you thinking?
Like, what if somebody took her? Like, could he possibly hurt her? And that was, like, the first time that I really, I think, genuinely considered, did this man hurt his wife? And it was like hard for me to grasp. And I thought about it a lot, and I waited for the night because I wanted to see if she would come home. And it was already pretty late, and I had company, and I was just like, let me just see how this plays out. And my buddy Jim left, I don't know, probably like 9 or 10. Probably it's like the same time he always leaves. And then I couldn't sleep again. It was really bad. And I woke up in the morning and I saw the interview that he had with the newspapers. And he just looked really different to me.
How so?
The light in his eyes is gone. They're like a different color now. It's like he has no soul. I swear to God. I saw it and I was just like, look at his eyes. I saw his mugshot. They're not even the same color. Like when you guys retrieve the pictures that are on my phone, look at his eyes then compared to now. Like it's the scariest shit I think I've ever seen in my life. It freaked me out. I was like, that's not even the same man that I know. And it was really uncomfortable. But anyways, I saw that report in the morning and I was just to the point where I was just like, all right, like something happened. This woman is missing. Whether it was him or someone else. I know like a woman went missing not too long ago in Longmont. Like I think it was like 2 months ago or something like that. And you guys, not you guys, but somebody up there called off the search on her. I don't think they ever found her. So I was like, I don't know, maybe that's connected, maybe somebody came and got her, maybe he did something. I don't know, but I knew like it was a problem. And at this point, I was like, I'm in a very messy situation with this man. And I don't know what to do. And so I called my dad, because he's like the only person that I trust with everything in the whole world. And I was just like, I have a problem. And I told him everything. And then I was like, we just discussed it. And it was like, we need to go to cops. Definitely. Because I figured you guys would find me eventually. But I was like, I feel like they need to speak to me. I feel like I'm a very important person for you guys to communicate
You are.
with. And so, you know, and again, I wish I'd have done it sooner, but it just kind of took the sequence of events of his lies and all of his bullshit falling apart for me to process that I needed to address the situation. And so, you know, and the time. And so that to me, and another thing he lied to me on, I caught him on Monday night, he was like, oh, it was right after the wedding ring thing. He was talking about, it might have been before, one of the two, but he was like talking about how he like reflected on North Carolina, and he was talking about how he wanted the separation and all this stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you were the one trying to make peace with her and she's the one who didn't want it. He's like, no, I wanted it. And I was just like, okay. And another thing on Monday night, his breathing was like, it was like his voice would crack sometimes. But I didn't like condemn him for anything like that, because I was like, well, yeah, he's probably stressed the hell out. His family's gone. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, I don't know. So that happened. And then,
he never made any admissions to you about anything that he had done.
Nope.
He never said anything about doing, or at any time, not just in these days, but during your relationship, did he ever say anything about hurting his wife, his children?
Never.
And then on these conversations from Monday to Tuesday, did he ever say that, somebody did something to them, or did he ever give an excuse to you how this could have happened?
No, I mean,
Other than they just were going to a friend's house.
Yeah, or he was like, yeah, I think she's like with one of her friends, she doesn't want to talk to me kind of thing. But
So-
other than that, no. I mean, like, he told me, like, yeah, she said she was with another man, but I think it was out of spite. Like, he never really, like, held that she was with another dude. Like, he never was like, yeah, she's with some guy. Like, she said it, but I don't think she meant it.
Mhm.
It's kind of what he was, like, directing towards me. But no, I think that's why I gave him the benefit of the doubt so long. Like, he's always been such a civil, gentle man to me. And he's always been pretty calm and, like, level-headed when he talks about the differences between him and his wife. And, I mean, that's a sensitive subject, and he never ever seemed like he was like aggressive about it. I mean, he was always just like chill, and he never talked ill of his children. He was always so bubbly about them, like those were his babies. So when all of this happened, I was just like, what the fuck? And
so that brings me to a question real quick. I mean, I don't think anybody over the last 6 or 8 weeks knows this dude better than you. I really don't. You guys probably spent more time together than anybody. Conversation, whatever, relationship. What do you think? What's the catalyst for this event? Do you have any? Have you had? And I know it's a hard question, but I want to get it out now. We're here. If there's a thought that you have that might lead us to understand a little bit why he might have done something like this. Like I said, I met Chris on Wednesday, so I don't know Chris, not like you do.
You know, I've thought about this, and sometimes I think to myself, if I wasn't in that man's life, would his family still be alive? And I've thought about this a lot, and I think I could give myself different responses. But in all honesty, I think they might be alive, but not permanently. I do not think that this man just snapped. I don't think that he just met some fucking amazing woman and he was just gonna try to fucking murder his family and then think that I was okay with, like, building a relationship with somebody who did something like that. Like, at what fucking point, you know? And not only that, like, I always try to say, you know, like, when we get to a point where we've been together long enough, I would love to meet your children. Like, I never discluded them from anything. Like, I remember coming back from Colorado Springs, and I was like, oh my God, they got the Cheyenne Zoo down here. You gotta take your kids, and like you can feed the giraffes, and they would love it. And like, I always try to like show him cool things. Like, hey man, would your kids like this? Because my nephew would like this. Like, check this out. You know, like I sent him a screenshot of some rainbow unicorn Lucky Charms the other day. I was like, do your daughters know about these? Because I bet these are epic. Like little things like that, where it's like genuinely, like I care. I do, like, despite how messy this is and how I'm sure I'm going to be portrayed in the media and everything, like, I care about, like, his well-being with his children and all of that. And so, for me, like, when I think of what was he going through his head, I find it really hard to believe that I am the catalyst for all of this. I will be willing to say that I think me being in his life accelerated what was inevitably about to happen. But I don't think people just snap. Love does not murder. Hate and resentment murder. That's the way I look at that. I do not know what is the truth anymore and what's not, and I don't have all of the details. But this is just my opinion, but I'm pretty convinced that that woman and him did not get along very well. And the reason they stuck together was, hey, we're going to do kids. And I think they also stuck together because they were in a very bad financial bind. And I think that she continuously disregarded it. And I think he messed up because he was too passive to say anything to her about it and really address it. And it just got to the point where it's just like you file bankruptcy and then what do? Just wait till you file the next one? I don't know. I don't know what their finances look like now, but from the way it made it sound, it's probably a pretty stark situation. And I don't know if hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt over and over and over again are enough to lead a man to want to take somebody out, but I don't know. I've heard of people committing suicide over that shit before, and I would never justify what he did. I think it's fucking disgusting. It's he's such a fucking pig. But I try to be like, why? I try to come up with a why, and I really think that he was struggling with her really bad, and not only that, he's got a third child on the way, and I know he was probably just like, I can't fucking afford a third kid. Wants it, but can't afford it, you know? And he always told me he, wanted a little boy. You know, he wanted a third child. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it was just something I think they were in a financial situation, and I think she was very non-responsive to him trying to solve problems and get out of the situations that they were in. And I think people just get complacent is what it is. And then, I think he met me, and I think I was breath of fresh air for him, where it was like he could get away and just be like, you know what, I can be myself. I don't have to worry about money right now. Like, you know, and this girl, like, I have my shit together. Like, my life is so, like, very in order.
You seem very organized and independent and dialed
Always.
in
Like, I do really good at work. I have, like, almost a perfect credit score. I've been saving money for a house. Like, I don't mess around. I mean, I screwed up. This is, like, my one screw up ever, and it's about to be on, like, national news. But, just very dialed in, and I think it was, like, a breath of fresh air for him to, like, be around something like that, because I don't think that he knew that that was, like, a real thing. And he had told me that, like, numerous times. He's like, I didn't know, like, women like you, like, existed. It's just like, all right, like, I don't, and when he meant it, it was just like the way you run your life. And so, because he got married really young, you know, and so, to answer your question, I think inevitably it was going to happen. I think it just got propelled faster. I mean, I don't understand what he would have achieved with, if he wanted to be with me that bad, what he would have achieved with me by doing what he did. I think his situation at home was way, way deeper than anything him and I ever had, and it led to that. And I don't know what happened in that conversation that they had, but I kind of have a feeling that it wasn't even about her pregnancy or another man or me. I have a feeling it was about money.
So drilling down, you think money
I
for
think
him is the biggest downfall. You guys, I mean, beyond their relationship, really, I don't know that you know too much about the relationship or the particular issues other than monetary issues, financial issues. That sounds like what you guys talked about when you talked about their relationship.
I mean, like, he told me other things, like they really didn't, like, sleep together too much, stuff like that, but I feel like a lot of husbands and wives don't do that. But it was like, oh, of course you don't. That's why you're coming to me, you know? No, I think I just, like, me being in his life just pushed that forward. I honestly think that there's probably a good possibility that this would have just happened, like, further down the road. Where
So did you see that before yesterday or Tuesday, or was that just kind of something that you have reflected on and you've thought about this now going, man, now that I see that in this guy, or just because of the lifestyle he was living, and if he didn't get removed from it, this was going to happen sooner rather than later, like you said?
You know, if I was to reflect on anything over, like, the past few weeks, besides, like, the stuff in the last few days where you're like, hey, is there, like, any red flags? I would say, like, no. But one thing I did notice one time is we were sitting on my couch and I was telling him, like, my house, I have a really beautiful house. Like, it's set up, like, really nice. But everything I have is, like, from Craigslist or Goodwill. Like, I have pieced it together, and it's all, or, like, marked down stuff. And I have pieced it together in a way, like, it's pretty, huh? It's a pretty house, but you would never guess that, like, everything I got is, like, super discount. And one day we were sitting on my couch, and we were just, like, bullshitting about some stuff, and I was telling him, like, oh, yeah, you know, like, I got this marked down in American Furniture because, like, the corner was dented, and, like, I got this one off a guy on Craigslist, and I put it all, and I was, like, telling him, I was, like, I put it all together, and I was, like, to me, it was, like, material things don't make a home. I was, like, it's the energy and the love that you bring to the home. I was, like, it's not about what it looks like. I was, like, it's about what you, like, bring to it, like, mentally. And he, like, collapsed in my lap and gave me, like, the biggest, most genuine hug I think that man has ever given me. And he just laid there, and he was just like, you are so different. And I didn't even say anything. I just, like, put my fingers in his hair and just let him chill there. And I assumed that it had to do with the finances. But it didn't, like, stress me out. It was just, like, this relief sigh where he just, like, dropped into my arms. And I didn't, like, really think too much of that event, except for that I was, like, this was, like, it was, like, a really genuine hug, like, collapsed into my lap, like, just so relieved. And I didn't really think much of it until, like, I started reading about, like, their bankruptcy and all this other shit, and I was like, oh. So I think it might have been bigger than he let on, because he never told me about his bankruptcy.
Sure.
You know, he just told me about his current financials, and he didn't even get that in depth, but I'm assuming they're trash. And so, yeah, I think her spending all that money and not listening to him, and him not standing up for himself in a calm and you know,
Just elevate.
yeah.
Last hard
just
question
kinda-
regarding this. And,
Go ahead.
And then I have just 2 cursory questions regarding something else, and then I think maybe Tim has a few questions for you. But I think what you say about the finances directly at his wife. Do you think that goes to the children as well? Because she took, did she treat them like that, like they were gold and they got everything as well that you know of? Or do you think there's a separate issue for why he may have done what he did to his children other than financial?
That part I don't have an answer for. I can't fucking explain that. I don't even think there is an answer. I don't even think there's any sort of like computing up here that could possibly give a rational explanation for why that would have happened. I mean, the only thing that I've honestly thought of when I play this scenario over in my head is that maybe they woke up and saw him doing in their mom, and he was like, fuck. Now I gotta do this too. I don't know. I'm like, why? Because they were like his like little lifeline, you know, he that was everything to him, you know, and I get like those two have problems.
But he had a great relationship, but from what you're accounting is
With his kids.
He loved his children.
Yeah, like that part, it's, oh my God, that's the worst part of this whole mess. The worst part of this whole mess.
We won't dwell on it. We don't have to dwell on it.
No.
Let me ask you.
But, so no, I don't have an explanation. That's the only thing I can possibly plausibly think of is maybe they saw it, but other than that, I don't know what the fuck.
Okay. Who's Charlotte?
Are you asking me who's Charlotte?
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my friends?
Mm-hmm.
She's like a really good friend of mine. Why?
Did you have some conversations with her regarding another boyfriend?
No.
That you might have met on eHarmony? Or did she meet somebody on eHarmony?
No, she's engaged.
Okay.
She's engaged.
So there's some text messages that we got off your phone, obviously. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I'm asking this is because if he found out maybe you had another boyfriend, you understand my line of questioning, that looked like maybe you had another boyfriend. And I don't know if that's this Jim guy, that maybe you guys were, no, I'm not saying that he's your boyfriend, that when we were interpreting the text messages, that it seemed like he might, you know, this man came to my house, he has a key to my house, that you're saying right now. When I look at that from my perspective, Jim may be another boyfriend for you.
Oh, no. Charlotte is like my oldest friend.
So did you have a conversation with Charlotte about Jim?
I mean, sometimes we talk about him. We're all friends.
Did you guys ever have a conversation about eHarmony? That's the
I mean,
kind of
possibly. I
online-
was on there for a while.
Okay.
But I didn't actually ever go out on any dates with guys from eHarmony. Not
Okay.
one. Like, I talked to a couple guys on there, but I was like, no, I didn't go on any dates.
So the only reason would be another potential reason for him to be upset.
No, he knew about Jim. He's always known that Jim is one of my good friends,
Okay.
and I lay it out for people at the beginning. Like, I have friends that are male, I have friends that are female. These are my friends. That's what it is. Like,
Okay.
he never, to me, seemed like jealous of Jim by, like, any means. So, no, I'm curious what text you're talking about with Charlotte.
I
talked to that girl so
I have
much.
153 pages of text messages, so I can't. If I could pull it up, I would, but I don't know where it is.
I thought you guys just got my text.
We got. When we ask for everything, for 7 days they give us everything.
Oh, so why did you need to just do that if you just had them?
Because I don't know that they're completely accurate. Again, what they send me is I don't have any way to verify that they're accurate.
Gotcha.
And if you delete a text message, sometimes those are not retained by carriers. They're still on your handset. There's a way to recover them from your phone. But they may not be held. There are certain carriers that don't even keep text messages. And I won't tell you who those people are, but they don't keep them. We can't even get our hands on them because they don't have a database. They don't pay the money. They're stored on your stuff and your stuff only. So that's why we ask for it. And some of those things disappear in 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, unless we ask them to keep them. And sometimes we don't know in time. So that's why we do it too. Okay? So just, it was a question because it also would provide potentially a motive for what Chris did if he found out that you had another boyfriend.
Why would he kill his family?
Well, he
because I
wigs
have a
out that he
boyfriend?
finds out that you have a boyfriend and just loses it altogether. Do you understand? Because he's already losing his wife, and now his new girlfriend has another boyfriend, and he can't. there's multiple reasons why. It was a concern. That
His cheese slid off his cracker. So sad. I don't know. He's like not even the same. I look at those like mug shots and they're scary. They scare me.
Yeah, that's what you said about that video too. It didn't. I had noticed I would have been a wreck. Oof.
I don't know. I mean, I volunteered with some guys for when I did the armed military stuff that had PTSD, and they were telling me when they went through trauma that they like kind of locked up. So like, I didn't even think it was the fact that he was calm that freaked me out.
Oh,
it was
when you were
like
helping
his
those guys out
eyes.
from the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was his, like, that part didn't, because I was like, I've seen, there's these guys that have been in battle that I've worked with that are like, yeah, I've experienced this is how I handle my trauma, and they're like very like, just kind of like zombies. But, so I didn't hold that against him, it was just his eyes, and just the light is gone from his eyes.
So let me just finish just with a couple quick questions here, but besides the obvious, and what he's done, what's the worst thing about this guy? Did you ever have just some sense? You seem to be pretty together with who you date, the people you hang around with. You seem to know a lot about people. Was there some impression he gave you that was negative?
The whole time we were together?
Yeah. Anything negative that sticks out?
I didn't think anything negative. I mean, like, I have preferences. Like, I thought he was, like, I don't want to use the word clingy because it's fucked up. He was, like, he was a lot more into me than I was into him. And it didn't make...
time?
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed his company, though. I mean, enough so that I kept everything going despite the situation. And, I mean... Like, it didn't scare me or anything. It's just like, I don't move that fast.
Okay.
So I think things were moving.
What were his long-term plans with you? What did he discuss with you?
Like, I mean, we'd, like, bullshit about it every once in a while and be like, oh, yeah, like, I asked him, I was like, if you didn't have that big house, because he didn't want to live in it, and he had made it very clear he didn't pick that out, none of that. I was like, well, if you could have a house that you wanted, what would your house look like? And he would tell me, he's like, I want a little ranch home. Like, it doesn't need all these floors, just a few bedrooms, enough space for my kids, maybe some property so they can, like, run around. 2-car garage, maybe 3. Put the old sports car in there because he liked cars. Stuff like that. And I tell him, I'm like, I'm simple too, so if you end up doing that and we end up staying together, let's do it. But it was never like, sell your house, let's go buy a house. Like, it was very...
You ever say anything about getting married?
To me?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a thing where it was like offhandedly, like one day maybe this will happen. But again, it was like these were, I did not take these as very like deep conversations. It wasn't like this is when we're going to get married. This is what's going to go on.
Okay.
And
you knew him for how long?
Brief.
Total. Just not dating him, but I mean, when were you first aware of him? How long?
I don't know. Probably the beginning of June or maybe May. So like 2.5, 3 months tops. I mean, this is all like really fresh. Like all of this is compounded into like a very small time frame.
very quick.
Yes.
Has he worked for the company for a while?
Yeah. I don't know how long. I want to say like 5 or 6 years off the top of my head, but I don't know. But
Did he supervise people? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, kind of. So he was an operator, and the way the operators are set up at Anadarko is they have operator 1, operator 2, operator 3. But then each operator is like broke down into like the basic guy, the medium guy, and like the foreman. And then it starts all over again. So he is still on level 1 of the operators, but he's like the top dog on the level 1 of the operators.
Okay. The whole time you've known him, this 2 or 3 months, did he ever complain of anything, any medical issues whatsoever? And did you ever pick up on anything? Is he allergic to anything? Does he have any, a special diet, anything that's messing with him physically?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, how about psychologically? Do you ever think there's something wrong with this guy?
No, I wouldn't have dated him if I did. He honestly, I mean, maybe because I thought he was like one of the like most laid back and like decent men I'd ever met, and I just haven't met a lot of people like that. But I mean, no, not up until all this stuff started happening. Then I was like, whoa, you are not the person that I thought you were. But prior to that, no, not at all. I really didn't. I enjoyed his company.
You think he was dating anyone else?
No.
No way?
No.
Okay.
He was way too invested in that.
Was the relationship was it sexual right off the bat?
pretty close. I mean, like, once we got it to be, like, where we're hanging out outside of work, yeah. I mean, it wasn't, like, immediate, but shortly following that, yes. And then it just continued.
Okay. Pretty consistently throughout the relationship. So kind of hot and heavy. You mentioned that maybe you guys were sending some photos back and forth. What kind of photos is he sending you?
Well, see, he would, like, send me, like, workout photos, stuff like that. He sent me a couple of inappropriate pics. I did not request those. I didn't even want them. I was just like, why are you going to do
What
this?
were they?
Oh, it was of his package. I'm just like, okay, cool.
Like his face and everything? Or just...
No.
Okay.
No, that's it. But I think he only did that, like, one time. It's just like, I don't even really want this. But usually he would just send me pictures, like, workout pics, like, progress pics stuff, and I would just kind of keep him updated, like, because he had some, like, fitness goals in mind, so it's kind of like trying to help him out with that.
Okay. When was the last time you guys were intimate?
Saturday.
Was that at the Broncos game?
Uh-huh.
Where would that have taken place?
At my house.
When he went to go pick you up before heading up to...
He didn't pick me up. We drive my vehicle. But, yeah, prior to and immediately following afterwards. So it was like,
So when he dropped you back
he
off,
came to my house,
you
it
did.
happened, and then we went out to dinner, and he came back to my house, happened again, and then he left.
Okay. Any other stressors in his life besides finances and that he mentioned?
I mean,
His wife?
just the fact that that she doesn't, like, let him openly communicate. I mean, but other than that, no. I mean, nothing that I really know of. We didn't, like, dive super deep into that stuff. It was just, like, occasionally there'd be a conversation where it would come up, and, I mean, it wasn't even really information that he wanted to provide. It was just, like, me being curious, like, why are you separating from her? This is good to know. Or, like, what are your finances like in case I end up building a life with you? But it was usually me, like, doing the inquiries, but I used to try not to be, like, super invasive about that stuff.
Mm-hmm. What are the, in your mind, again, just real quick, what are the things that really pop out to you that he would complain about his wife?
Just that she didn't listen to him. She, like, never listened to him. She always just, like, shut him off. Oh, and he told me once that she used to, like, kind of, like, talk shit to him in front of his kids, and his kids were starting to repeat it.
Did he give you an example?
Yeah, she said, what did she say? He said he tried to ask her for something and ask her a question. I don't know, something. He didn't, like, dive super into this. This was, like, pretty early on, and she said, she told him to shut up and that he didn't know anything. And his kids started, like, repeating it. And he said that it made him really sad, and he realized that was when he needed to separate from her.
So, and he never, though, he said she was a good mom?
Yeah, I mean, he never complained about her being, like, a bad mom or neglectful or anything like that.
Abusive, anything like that?
Nothing. When it comes to, like, violence or anger or any of that, nothing. I mean, and he even said, like, yeah, like, so she kind of, like, gets bossy with me sometimes, but as far as, like, arguing back and forth, he's like, that never happens. He's like, we don't fight like that. So I don't know. He seemed pretty, like, even-keeled with stuff, so.
Did they talk about how they discipline their kids at all?
I never asked. I felt like that was not my place.
And he never mentioned it?
Nope.
That's all I was going to ask.
Just making sure nobody else.
What time is it? I've been so...
It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
It's time to go. You have my card. Things will probably come to your mind in the next day, week, month, year, especially as you get some sleep and recover here. Please don't hesitate to call me. My email's on there. You can email me. The business phone number on there is not accurate. I used to work in our Pueblo office until
So what is it?
July. Just call my cell phone. I'm never in my office anyways.
Okay.
Okay? My cell phone will always be the same, so just call my cell phone. And I will respond to you as soon as I can. If you need to send an email, again, you can send an email to me. Okay? If I can help you in any way with some services to deal with the obvious trauma that you face, let me know, and I'll get you in touch with the people that can help you. Also, If you have issues with anybody intimidating you in any fashion, I will tell you right now, I have zero tolerance for that. Zero. I will charge anybody if I can prove it, and I will take them straight to jail. Period. You are not, you're not a suspect in anything. You're merely a witness. Unfortunately for you, you met a man who did some terrible things, and I will not. I won't stand for it. Through my career, period, zero tolerance. You will go straight to jail. You call me immediately, and I will handle it.
I appreciate
Okay?
that.
And finally, you probably eventually are going to get media inquiries.
When are you thinking this is going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen soon. I really don't. I will tell you today that there was an inquiry from a media member requesting to know if there was any other people involved in Chris's life. I think the story is they're searching, but there's only a multiple couple of time reasons that somebody could think what would cause this.
Well, they're seeing the financial stuff. They're posting it.
Right.
I'm seeing it.
So I think there's a buffer for you for a couple of reasons. I told you today, I did not see the affidavit. I don't think your name was mentioned in it. There's no reason for it, I don't think, at this time for his arrest. When the affidavit becomes public, which I think they mentioned maybe early next week, that'll keep them media busy for a while.
Oh, so her name wasn't in it, that you think?
I don't think your name
Mark
was
said
in
he
it.
didn't publish that thing
Right.
yet, so if he has...
So I talked to Mark this morning, and I know he has not written a report. Now, I do know that he did talk to the people yesterday just regarding her, because it was important for some of the things we were doing yesterday. Again, I don't think your name appears in that report. But don't hold me to that. I didn't write the affidavit, but from what I know, it doesn't. So at some point, your name is going to come out. I mean, there's just no way it's not. And like I told you, I want.
So when do you think that is? Like when we take this to trial?
I don't
Like
know.
at what point? Because nobody knows about this.
Right, but Chris does.
Yeah, I don't think he's in any rush to tell the media anything. I mean, maybe.
Is there mitigators that he, in his mind, or again, you got a phone call from the public defender's office, whether you talked to them or not,
I
that's
did
your business.
not.
You didn't?
I did not.
Oh, I thought you did.
I did not.
Hmm.
I didn't know what to do. Mark said to ask you what to do.
Okay, so did they reach out to you?
Yep.
Okay, you can, your decision. You don't have to talk to them, or you can. I won't say either way. You have to make that decision for yourself.
I don't really know what to do. I feel like if I talk to them, they're either going to try to like find some holes in my story or try to get me to like be Chris's only ally, and I don't really feel like dealing with either one of those.
Then I think you've made up your mind.
Yeah,
So,
I don't
and
want
maybe confide in your father.
No, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah. I can't really give you legal advice. They have every reason to want to talk to you. Just like if they got to you before I did, I would want to talk to you too. You understand what I mean? And I won't hamper what their investigation is or anything. They want information too, certainly. They have a client that they're trying to protect and make sure that everything that we're looking at is the same thing that they would want to
But
look
they
at.
can get it from you.
They will get it from us.
So-
It'll be in discovery. They'll get everything that we've talked about here, and that's so when that happens, which is pretty short order. The reports that we will generate, everybody involved in this case, will be sent to the public defender's office. I think at that time you might find that there could be some exposure for you. So I am not going to tell anybody who you are. If somebody called me today, I don't talk to the media. I don't have any business talking to the media. Mark has no business talking to the media. They don't need to know who you are. Your part in this is not relative to anything to the story. For me, it's nothing that they need to know, and I don't ever give information to anybody.
They're going to dwell on it, though. They're going to try to use that as his why. I don't think it's his why. I really don't.
That's why I asked you that question.
No.
You think his why is financial? And whether or not we ever know what his why is, I don't know.
Did he tell you guys what his why was?
I can't discuss it with you.
So, just a quick open question. The way the legal system runs, is if he totally confesses and pleads guilty, is there a reason for a trial, or do they just pack enough discoveries together that this proves what he said, and
So the
and
purpose
he goes
of
to a kind of court and it's done? Or
the purpose for discovery is we have to. We're obligated by law to share everything that we know with the public defender or
Absolutely.
a private attorney.
Right. Okay.
It doesn't go the other way. They don't have to share anything with us. So we are obligated to give them everything we have, no matter what happens. I can tell you right now, probably sometime early this week will be his. He's going to enter a plea. Either I'm guilty or not guilty. That will probably be sometime Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this coming week, I would imagine, from what I heard today. Now, it might be a little more delayed, and then that starts the legal process. So
But if he pleads
if
guilty,
he pleads
though-
guilty, could that happen today? Sure, certainly. I mean, he could go to his attorneys. You've seen it happen before. If he pleads guilty, is that information still available? Absolutely. Because there's still got to be legal process regarding, is he competent to stand can he make that plea? Are the attorneys going to allow him to do so? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
okay.
all that information still goes to them. And then that would play into, potentially what is the sentence, what could be the penalty. All those things have to be looked at by attorneys. So there is not them ever getting her name. It is going to be there at some point. And I don't know, I understand your fear, and that's why I told you that if anybody, I don't care if somebody calls you and says, anything minor, you call me and let me know, please. I will not stand for that.
Well,
Okay?
So it would be the news people would only be the ones that, and of course they already know what to.
God, work is going to be such a mess, too. That's going to be, like, a whole nother level. Like, everybody at my work, I heard, was so, like, just damaged and broken today. And then it's like, let's just add Nikki into this whole mix. It's not going to be good for all of them, like, mentally either. It's just going to be a mess.
Maybe your employer could transfer you to another business.
I think that's a fair statement. I will tell you right now that Anadarko has been very, very helpful with us and is very concerned about their employees in this event. And I'm tired too, but your employer definitely has an indication of your relationship with Chris, I would think.
They're not my employer.
Oh, that's right. You work for a different company.
Yeah, but you're saying
I think-
Anadarko has a knowledge of that.
Well,
Who are we talking about, Tasman or Anadarko?
I don't even know what Tasman is.
Tasman is the people that cut my check, and I'm contracted out to APC.
So I think people have suspicion that there was a relationship with Chris. Not saying you, but they may know that. I think there was some suspicion that he was having a relationship with somebody else. Not your name specifically. But if you went to your bosses and said, I have an issue that I don't, like your dad's saying, I think that you might find that they'll just get you out of there.
See, that's what we were talking about today, because they probably have a policy for psychological help. They probably have a policy for inquisitive, people bugging other employees. That's a big company with a lot of HR, and there's.
Do you have an employee assistance program?
I don't. Oh yeah, that they were there all day today. But it's like I got so many calls today from
Those are
people I work
questions
with.
that you can ask them anonymmously, and that information is
See,
retained.
that's what I was saying, because if.
So what am I supposed to do?
Well,
Tell my boss?
Well, but your boss isn't going to want rumor mongers. They're not going to want people stressing you out. They're not going to They don't want erratic workflow. They don't want any of that. So they'll probably do a broadcast letter of anybody that was friends,
They already
acquaintances
did. They already
of it,
dealt with all the shit
or
that's
anything
done
else.
today.
Please respect that employee's feelings. And right there, oh, and by the way, if any of you have problems, blah, 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 you can call Mickey Mouse at, and that's probably, they probably have a policy with that.
Here's the
And I'm
problem,
hoping that
though.
they do.
I don't work for them.
But they can still
But if I'm like
protect you under
transfer
that.
me, like they're gonna be like, you're not even our employee. Like I'm pretty sure I'm about to lose my job over this.
No, you're not gonna. Why would you lose your job?
I don't know, because I feel like people are gonna just complain about being uncomfortable with working with me. Like I am not gonna have any respect from anybody there. I think I will have like 2 people that still.
You really didn't do anything wrong.
I had an affair with a married man who lied to me and made me believe that he really wasn't like as married as I think he was. But the media is not going to be so kind to let everybody know that. I think people are going to think I'm like the reason that he went off the deep end.
That's probably a fair statement. I would probably agree with you to some effect, but if these people you know them at work, then
And the company will
protect
the company
you at
will
some point.
buffer that as much as they can, because if not, it'd be chaos amongst employees, and they can't have that.
I'm just so sad.
It's just
like
not
this
good
is
in
like
their best
the
interest.
job of all jobs I've ever had in my life, and I
Really.
fucked it up.
Well, so you've been out in the field. You've been home 3 months of the year, on an average, in staggered amount, out in the middle of nowhere, on oil rigs. This little thing was out hanging on oil rigs, and now they got her an environmental where she's able to clean up stuff.
Right.
And it's a hot job, man. It's just a hot job, and
I mean, would you advise
I wouldn't
me
start.
talking to
I
like
can't
my
give you
head
legal
higher up?
advice. Maybe the best thing to do on that is talk to your EAP, whoever the employees assistance people are. They're anonymous. They know all your HR rules. They know all your policy and procedure stuff. And how can I mitigate this?
Fair
and also,
question.
for your problem too is not just is this going to become an environment where you can't work? So you have to call those people and say, I don't want this to happen, so how do we take care of it? I want to continue to work for you guys. I love my job, whatever. Just be proactive. I don't know, your boss is on site.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I don't know.
I think that's a personal decision you have to make.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
don't
I didn't
think-
even think about talking to them at all, but I keep thinking about, I'm like, man, when my name gets out in the news, this is about to be crazy.
No,
like,
I
I have
do it.
people calling me all day. Like, my office mate would not shut up. She just called me today, and she was just like, oh my God, did you read this article, and what did you think, and oh my God, and this, and I'm just like, I don't want to talk about this. Please leave me alone. And like, it was really overwhelming. And my project manager called me, and he's really chill, so we made it a very quick conversation. But some people just like didn't get it, and it's so hard to me
I
because
would
I
get
feel
in
like
front of
I'm lying to them.
I'd get in front of it. No, don't.
Yeah, because
make
the
a
company,
decision.
I don't think it would be in their best interest, legally, morally, or profit-wise, to have a bunch of junk going on. They would suppress it to keep it at least where everybody's treated with respect throughout the company. This is a tough situation. They'll put the presidential speech
I
in
could do
it.
that job like 75% of that at home.
Yeah, I
I've
would-
already been thinking about that. I was thinking about just asking Lena, like, hey man, just let me come in at like 5 in the morning and deal with the gas monitors like 2 days a week. No one will even know I'm
And I
there.
believe that
And let me just work at home.
they probably made a statement on that, what'd you call it, OHP or
EAP.
EAP?
They put out a notice today.
If they put that out and it says your confidentiality will be respected,
It has to be.
if that got leaked through an HR department and that got out after you told them something, that would not be good for...
Employment law is very strict on that
Yeah,
kind of
so
stuff.
I think you should just not attack it, but be proactive in it and snuff it, because...
And what? Just go tell my boss, like, not what I told you guys, but like a summed up version of it. Like, hey,
Well,
my
they-
name is about to get released in the media, and there's a lot of stuff.
I don't know if I'd do that in that fashion. I might you just need to figure out a tactful way to do that. And perhaps in an employment, there is attorneys that deal with employment law, and maybe you want to reach out to one of them. That might help you. I don't know. It's a decision that you might need to make, or you might want to talk. I think I would talk to EAP first, because it's not going to cost you any money.
See if they'll do something. I hope so, because they're not actually my employer, so...
Well, they're an outside agency that just knows what's going on.
But
So, yeah, I don't know,
both
so
companies, it would be in their best interest to protect everybody, including all the foremen he worked with, apprentices he worked with. I mean, all of those people have a lot of information too.
Not like me.
But again, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to have, they don't want to talk about it. They have the same rights. So it would be a company-wide thing. So I would just,
On the media
we'll
stuff,
work on that.
Yeah, I think you've got a grip on that. On the media stuff, for you, I wouldn't talk to the media, just tell them you don't have any comment, and for you, probably the same. And if they just persist, maybe put somebody, it seems like your dad is your biggest confidant here, and maybe make a brief statement. If, my daughter doesn't want to say anything, have a nice day, whatever. Because if you appease them a little bit, sometimes they'll go away. That would just be my suggestion. Don't talk to them. You don't need to.
I'm not going to. I guess they're going to make their own assumptions.
So does your neighbor, so does the
Right. They'll be talking, as soon as they figure out who you are, they're going to talk to your neighbor, and they're going to say, oh yeah, I saw Chris, and her together, whatever. What's going to happen. Just prepare yourself, and then it won't be.
Are they going to swarm my house?
No, I don't think so.
No, they were like swarming his. He told me that he's like, there's media everywhere. And it's just like, I hope that does not happen to me. Yeah. I mean, I have like a safe house in Denver that I can go to, that I have the keys to, that has nobody there ever. And it's all I have to do is check the mail. And there's no questions asked, and nobody knows where it is, and I'm not telling anybody, but it's like a really nice spot for me to like hide out, and I don't have any friends in that building. I mean, it's an apartment, but it's
we will answer your phone calls, but the safe house is from
the safe house is the safe
people
house.
Banging on her apartment
well,
door.
when should I go there? When do you think all this is going to start happening? I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, it might be just good for you to go there, anyways, for your sanity, and stay away from this place that you had a connection to this man with, and get your thoughts in order.
It's so sad. That was my nest. That was like such a warm little place.
That was
now it's like I haven't even slept in my bed. I've just been sleeping on the couch with the dog. I don't even want to do it.
What other questions can we answer before we go? I don't foresee talking to you again regarding this now. An attorney might review something and go, hey, can you ask her another question? And that would be a long ways down the line. I don't think there's anything else. I let you talk for a long time today to get it all out. So we don't have to do this again, because I don't want to traumatize you again. But if there is important things that come up, please know that I do want to talk to you about those. Other things that we haven't talked about today, or if something I got to tell them. Just call me.
I mean, like, some things I thought were really important. Like, the other day, like, I didn't mention the wedding ring thing, and then I was like, that was really creepy. I should probably tell them about that.
And,
And you got those cards. I gave you those cards.
So you gave me cards, and there was clothing in there.
Yeah, I don't care what you do with it all. I just don't
The
want
clothing, was any of the clothing anything he wore this weekend, or is it stuff that was from...
No. It was, like, stuff that he brought over, like, prior to that.
Okay.
None of that. Like, some of it's been washed and folded since then. Yeah, I just wanted it out of my house and didn't want to throw it away.
We'll take care of it. We have it. We'll take care of that. If I have questions on the context of a text message, I might just call you and say, "How does this mean?" Because I might not understand what you were talking about. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's fine.
If it's, I'm not going to bother you unless it's really important, because I think I have everything I need from you today.
Okay, yeah, we just wanted to make sure you guys had it so that.
Well, and we don't. I
don't
find
the right person or something.
We don't want to
get
do
it
it
done.
again. Yeah, and we know we have the right person, and I am sorry that you're involved. I am. It's never a good time to say anything like that, but it's a bad deal. This whole thing is, and this is one of the tougher cases that I think I've been doing this a long time. It's it's tough. So for you, it's even tougher. And don't forget to reach out to somebody for your sanity. Like I asked you downstairs a question, and you said no. You remember what question I asked you, right?
No. You know how many questions you've asked me
tonight? You want a pizza?
Well, hell, I want food too.
Pizza.
No, I asked you if you had any concern. I asked if I should be concerned at all about you hurting yourself.
Oh, no, I don't feel the need to do that.
Right.
I just want people to leave me alone. I
And
just feel like I want to like hide for a little while all of this is happening.
Just please reach out to your family or even me, and if you have any things that's struggling like I told you, there's people I can put you in touch that will talk to you. I'm not a psychologist. That's not what I am. But people sometimes that get caught in these situations, they end up having lots of emotional issues, and you need to address them. Don't just hide that stuff. Okay.
All right. Are you guys gonna
You seem
help
pretty
me if
super
we go?
super intelligent. So
I appreciate that. That's a nice compliment. When we go to like trial for this, if that's what he so feels the need to take this to, are you guys gonna help like coach me through these questions?
So we would be there to rediscuss our conversation today, the conversation you had with Mark, and then an attorney would talk to you prior to any questioning on the stand regarding what kind of questions they're going to ask you. And really the only thing you have to remember, I mean, if you're worried about your recollection or your recall or, you know, how you might remember this, everybody worries about that. Even we do. We spend hours on the stand, and it's very difficult. But the only thing you have to remember is tell the truth. And the truth will never change in your mind. You know what happened during these 6 weeks. You know what happened on Monday and Tuesday. And as long as you tell the truth, then there's nothing to be worried about. If you don't remember something, you don't remember it. Might they pick on you a little bit about that? Absolutely. They usually pick on us a lot more than they do you guys. So, but that's so far down the road.
I mean, how long are we talking? Like, how long
That
is this whole
could
process
be,
gonna
well,
take?
so he has the right to a speedy trial once he makes a plea, which is 45 days. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. I can tell you that the majority of the homicides that I work on average somewhere between 1 and 3 years.
Yeah, look at the clown,
So
man.
I gotta just deal with the
theater.
media, like knocking on my door like that for like 3 years. 'cause that's
This
gonna have to
case
go
will
through.
be hot until the next, unfortunately, crazy case comes up. And you know it's true. I don't know if you watch the news. There's a reason I really don't.
Every week.
I don't
But
watch
you
the
know
news.
there's something new every week that's the hot topic. This one might be hot for a week, 2, 3, whatever, and then something else is going to happen, and they're going to forget all about this one until it comes back to court, and then it's going to be revived if it ever does. I don't know what that, you know, he has all sorts of, he could plead, he could say I want to go to trial, I didn't do this, whatever, he could say whatever. So it could be tomorrow, it could be 5 years. It just depends. I mean, there's a lot of things that can slow cases down.
Yeah, look at that theater thing. I mean, that was a whirlwind for, what, a month or so?
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, as soon as people started figuring out what that guy was all about, all of a sudden they started just like, man, he's weird. He was psycho. Look at him. And he just kind of just...
And then it
But I
petered
know
off.
It shows
and then-
up like every...
That's a huge event.
Yeah.
You know,
But
certainly
it shows up every 6
unprecedented.
months or a year. Yeah.
Sure. You know, I mean, you look at, I just, there's no way to know that. But if,
Okay.
like your dad's saying, you know, like on that guy was sent to the state hospital for evaluation, and that takes a long, long time, and that can draw out cases if there's evaluations. There's all sorts of things that come into play that really don't worry about. Is put this thing out of your mind as much as you can, and when the time comes, if it ever does, that you had to testify, you will be in good hands. We'll take care of you. The attorneys handling this case are going to, you know, take care of whatever needs to happen. Okay? And if you have questions that you can't think of now, just call me.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to talk to the other side. From what we were discussing, they can get the discoveries from you guys.
I don't want to deal with him
it's-
anymore.
it's
Mark
less
already
than-
said, he's like, he might try to call you. I think I'm going to just ignore that.
Who?
Chris. I don't know if he will try to call me. I heard, did they find those little girls yet? And I was looking for them. And they thought, or they knew where they were at. You don't know yet? Because you've been in here with me.
Right.
Oh my God.
I find the whole thing very weird if the close, as much as you told me that he was as normal as he was, but yet some very close friend would call within a couple of hours of her not answering the door, or what was it?
Well, I think she was like on meds or something. Like, so I think she wasn't concerned
But to
about
call
Chris.
the police within just like the same day, and yet he acted normal on this end. That is weird.
Yeah.
Somebody, there's two different lives there or something.
Oh, there's definitely two different lives there. That's why sometimes I have to like, I feel like when he's like, well, what did she, people are like, what did he say about her? And it's just like, I don't even know if I want to say it, because who knows if that's what's really happening. I mean, maybe, maybe not.
Molly called me back, so we'll call her tomorrow.
Okay, I think I might need to approach Anadarko. I really don't want to go to work tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to just take the week off, and then maybe we can sort things out on the weekend, and then I can like reach out to my supervisor and EAP or whatever.
Yeah, you need a little sleep and some time.
Yeah, you definitely need some sleep. Don't drive tonight. Yeah.
She's, I'm gonna drive her home and then all the way back.
I'll walk you guys down. You're gonna get. Yeah, I'll
You
get
need
the
to use
tape.
the restroom first, Pumpkin?
No, which is crazy because I've drank so much water today.
I really, really do appreciate you being completely